First I was afraid, I was petrified that Biden would destroy this country, and I was right. And then I spent so many nights wondering where we went wrong. It's been so long. And so I had to write this song, and now we're trapped in crazy town, where men can pretend to be women, take our medals and our crowns, they're in our showers and our sports, get all the praise and news reports. So many finally see the light. November 6th, we'll get it right. Go now, go. Come all the two. Just give it up now, 'cause Trump is gonna come for you. You're the one who caused this shithole that we're in. Do you think we're stupid? We won't let you steal it again. Oh, don't cry. You really tried. Oh, but this country's had enough with all your mumbling and lies. And now we're standing for the truth to protect women and youth. It's time to go. It's time to go. Hey, hey.
So we're on our way here. And I had this whole message prepared, and everything was cruising, and you're just like, man, this is just a great day. Thank you, Jesus. And then he speaks a word to you, and you're like, wait, did you just say that to me? Because I'm really confused now. And he spoke a word to me that threw me off. I was 3 minutes from being here. 3 minutes. I was so close. Almost made it. And we were driving in all this traffic, which y'all have a lot of traffic. There's not like that in Louisiana. Wow. And so we drive past this homeless man, and our eyes locked. And I just felt something in my heart that God said to me. He said, that man, I died to take his pain away. He said, go out and put it in his reach, and then you're going to see how I feel. I was like, okay, are you sure? Can somebody else do it? I literally prayed that somebody else would do it as I'm watching this happen. And I watched this man walk by. Here's the homeless man. He walks by. He looks and he keeps walking. And then all of a sudden, I see him go. And I'm like, yes, yes, yes. And then he walked away. I was like, oh, no. Now I'm really going to have to do it. So we keep driving. And I tell my friend that's driving, I said, look, I'm sorry. This is not going to make sense. I know we're already running late, but you got to turn around. You got to turn around. And I grabbed my Jesus Bible. And I walk up to this man. I said, hi, I'm Sadie. I said, I don't have any money, honestly. I don't have anything on me right now, but I do have this. And this is everything. And I want to give this to you. And he looked at me and his eyes filled with tears. He said, no, I can't take that. I said, well, sure you can. Sure you can. Like, please take it, please. Like, I really want to give this to you. He said, no. He said, I'm an atheist. I said, okay, well, just take it, please. Like, please take it. He said, no, I'm not going to take that. I can't. So I said, okay, I'll respect that. So I start walking away. And I turn around and I look at him and I said, are you sure? He said, yes. So I lay the book down. He goes, no, don't leave it. Don't leave it. I was like, do you want it? He's like, no, I don't want it, but don't leave it. I said, okay, why? He said, please give it to somebody that will take it. Somebody needs it, but it just can't be me. And my heart broke. And Jesus said, that is how I feel. Because Jesus is extending his hand to us with truth, with promises, with something that can save us from a dark world. And sometimes we just say, no, we don't want that. We're just going to lay here. We're just going to stick with this life. We just walk away. And Jesus is saying, no, are you sure? Please take it. I died for this.
Yep. I died for this. I died for you. I gave it all up for you. I could have stayed and been king. Could have stayed and been king for the lifespan. I could have ruled. But, it's that's not what he chose. His father sent him on a mission, and he completed the mission. And that mission is important. It was everything that anybody could dream of, doing exactly what God wants you to do from the moment of birth to the time of death. All of it right there. It turns out that some people can see it, and some people can't. Some people can see it, some people can't. But see, the thing is that we get so wrapped up in our own lives that we forget God, and we start grabbing on to the physical world. This matrix that we live in. We grab onto it. We hold on to it for dear life. It's the only thing that's going to sustain us. It's all I have. It's everything. I have nothing else. So why should I be going farther than this? And the thing is that we should be looking at everything. We should be experiencing everything, because we were put here to experience everything. We were put here to have a relationship with God and allow him to guide us through this treachery, through this primordial friggin' hoo-ha that we're going through. And it is a hoo-ha. Boy, it's a deep hoo-ha at that, and it's like, how, why, what exactly is, what exactly is the reality that we're experiencing? And it just boils down to that people think that that life is something that it's not. So sometimes we got to let go, and we got to let God. We have to let Jesus. We have to let them guide us. We have to let them influence the decisions that we make through discernment, through looking at scripture, picking up the Bible and just opening it up sometimes, and if you actually read the pages that you opened up to, what's amazing is that no matter what page you flip to, there is something for you. Every situation that you come across in life, if you go at it with the same approach, when you open the Bible, there's going to be something on those 2 pages that directly correlates with what you're thinking, what you're experiencing, what you're going through, and what you need to decide. It's simple. We muddle up life with life, other people's lives. We muddle it up. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting a good laugh. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And then there's nothing wrong with learning about how people are thinking and how people are acting and why they're reacting, right? There's nothing wrong with that, because it's better to know a situation when you're walking into it than to have no knowledge at all and walk into a room of hostile people, because you're not as aware as they are, or you haven't seen as much as they have. You haven't experienced what they have. So in order to prepare ourselves for every environment that we walk into, we simply need to pick up the book, get a little bit of information, a little bit of concrete based to stand on, or the rock to stand on. And then once we have that, then we're ready to face anything that is put in front of us. We are ready to face any type of situation without fear. Sure, of course, there's going to be a little bit of anxiety going on when things happen. But we know that we don't need to fall into fear, because we got answers in the book. We got damn good answers in the book. The question is do we have the time to open the book? Do we have the tenacity to open the book? Do we have the humbled spirit to open the book? Because all the answers are in there. All of them. All of them. Here we go.
Here come old Jesus, he's the Lion of Judah. He got eyes like fire, he won holy roller. He got head down to his knees. Got to be King Jesus, he just do what he please.
He walks on water, he got miracle power. He makes demons tremble, saying, here comes trouble. He said, I know you, oh, and you know me. And I defeated death and hell and gave you the keys. So come together right now, yeah, over me. I said, come together right now, yeah, over me.
I love that. I love that. I don't know about you, but I love that. I think people should be posting that. I think we should get that posted everywhere. Post it on your Facebook, post it on your X, post it on your timeline, post it on Truth Social, post it everywhere. Post it everywhere. Honestly, the mustard seeds would not be where they are today without Jesus. I did drop the link there, Richard. Look up a couple of comments there. You'll see it. Yeah, and I'm dropping it into the Facebook side right now, and I will hit the X side as well. Let's see here. I know we're here somewhere. I thought we were here. I thought we were here. Is it going to come up now? Wow, we're not even showing up on X. That's kind of messed up. Are we live on X? I hope we are. There we go. Yep, there we are. Okay. I didn't think we were there for a minute there. Yep. I'll get to there so I can click this. There we go. All right. Posted everywhere. I want to hear a whole song of that though. I want to hear a whole song of it. I don't want I don't want just this little 1 minute clip. I want a 4 minute, 3 minute, 4 minute long song. That's what I want. That's what I want. I know I'm asking for a lot. Yep. It's all right. Insurrection Barbie says, listen to a Chicago resident tell you that illegals are getting $15,000 food cards and $5,000 cash cards and getting their rent paid for 2 years. Here we go.
Tell me what's going on with the migrant crisis here in Chicago.
So I will tell you right now, I'm a person that lives on the south side of Chicago, and the migrants that have come in, at one point they were coming in and we were feeling very sorry for them because they came in at a time where the weather was cold. So we're seeing all these people in tents and all this and that. But then we find out that they're getting $15,000 in food stamps, $5,000 in cash. I work for a company, which I will not say, that they're able to come in and they're able to get internet and Wi-Fi and all of this for free because guess what? The government are paying their rent for 2 years. Why is the government paying people that came from another country rent for 2 years? Can we explain that? Because it's a housing crisis right now with multiple homeless people on the streets right now that I could follow and show you homeless people that's been living on the streets. So what makes the migrants better from coming to another country that they get all of this? You know why? I'm going to say why. Because we're about to have another presidential election. So if we make these migrants democratic and we give them the right to vote and we give them all of these things, they're going to vote. And then, boom. I'm a Trump supporter, by the way.
Tell me what's
Yep, I'm a Trump supporter, by the way. That's what she said. That's what she said. Lefty's losing it.
Get the fuck out.
Here we go. Here we go.
It doesn't make you sound like any less of a misogynist. Get the fuck out of my face. You support killing women.
Killing women?
Women die all the time from babies that are in their tubes that they're not supposed to be there. So if your wife has an ectopic
Statistically,
pregnancy,
that's a
would you let her
marginal.
die?
That's a
Get the
marginal
fuck out of my
percentage.
face, you freak.
Please don't scream at me. I haven't raised my voice.
I don't care if you didn't raise your voice. It doesn't make you sound like any less of a misogynist. Get the fuck out of my face.
That was kind of scary.
Yeah, you should be scared. You should be scared because you're a piece of shit and you don't deserve any woman.
I have a beautiful girlfriend.
Yeah.
Shout out
Yeah,
Madison.
I know about you talk to your doctor about your health problems and leave my health problems with me and my doctor and get the government out of it. And who's you fucking stranger? Stranger? You want to look at my vagina? Get the fuck out of here.
I never said I wanted to look at her vagina. I didn't say that.
All of you like white supremacist people think you just talk calmly, you seem normal.
Why
Why are we upset? Because you're a fucking psycho.
I can't talk with her. She
you
just
can't talk to me.
screams.
And I can't talk to you because you believe in Sky Daddy instead of like real people in front of you who are suffering.
I have a black cameraman. What are you doing other than trying to get
said
money
like
from black
white
people?
supremacists,
You're just
okay?
trying to get money from black people. I'm at
What?
least employing
You
a black person. I mean, if we're talking racism, look at you. Give them away for free if you truly care, but you don't.
It doesn't make you sound like any less of a
Oh, yeah, they're losing it in Chicago. Yep. All right. She's mad because she has a son who identifies as a cat. Okay.
Please stop calling animal control on my son. 3 separate times this week, animal control has knocked on my door and told me that somebody has reported me for having a nuisance animal. And I told them I do not have a nuisance animal. I have a son that identifies as a cat. And a lot of people don't like the fact that my son is trans species, so they call and report him to animal control thinking it's funny. It's not funny. You're wasting animal control's time. You're wasting my time. You're causing me and my son a lot of stress. And he's not bothering anybody. He doesn't make noise when he's at home. He doesn't go out and potty outside. He uses his litter box inside. So there's no way that he could be bothering you other than the fact that you don't like that he is trans. My son has the right to live his life the way he wants to live it. and I don't care if it makes you uncomfortable, but stop wasting everybody's time by calling animal control on him. Animal control won't even take him in because he's not a biological cat. He's a human biologically. So stop. Just stop.
Okay. Yeah. No problem. Oh, boy.
There is little doubt this is a very different Donald Trump.
Give me a strong guy.
A surprise visit to flood-ravaged Baton Rouge, personally donating a truckload of supplies and telling no one.
I'm just here to help. And you've got a governor. It's a great place. I've had a great history with Louisiana. They need a lot of help. What's happened here is incredible. Nobody understands how bad it is. It's really incredible. So I'm just here to help.
There is little doubt.
The man's been given his whole life. Yep. Here we go.
I heard the rest of what Ricky Smiley said, and I thought that was downright hilarious. I thought it was hilarious. Like, wow. Man, you mean to tell me she's an AKA? She about to have whatever sorority the other lady is belonging to. She could be sworn in by this lady, Supreme Court Justice, that don't even know how to define what a woman is. So a black woman that used to be an Asian woman that gave $26 billion to Asian Americans, well, she can't do nothing directly for black people, but she did something directly for her people, which is Asian Americans. $26 billion in 2023. Yeah, she can't do nothing for she can't do nothing for black Americans, but Asian Americans can get 26 billion, not million, 26 billion in the forms of government funding and government grants, contracts. Yeah, Patty. Meanwhile, mothers and fathers can't afford groceries. And I got a video of a black woman saying exactly what you saying. She's like, what does it matter that she's an AKA? What does it matter that she about to get sworn in by some woman that was a just woman that don't even know how to define what a woman is? What does all that stuff matter? At the grand scheme of things, she said, I got to make a decision on if I can afford groceries, enough groceries and enough gas for the week. When you talk about real situations, people are not concerned with if somebody being black or not. You're not paying nobody bills with your skin color. Kamala Harris is not going to help get your bills paid just because she's black. Inflation is at an all-time high. And when you go and look at the policy, and this is what's sad about Ricky Smiley, D.L. Hughley, Steve Harvey, is that nobody calls these gatekeepers out. Like I said, I came here to expose the go along, get along game. And Steve Harvey, Ricky Smiley, D.L. Hughley, they are definitely go along, get along game. Just think about it. They don't give you anything intelligent that they say. Steve Harvey just basically sounds like he's shucking and jiving. You know what it is. You know what's going on out here. We black out here. We can't do nothing. And Kamala Harris just sitting there like, yep, you tell them niggas. I'm not going to do nothing for them niggas. You tell them, Steve Harvey. This ain't that. This is alley-oop. What you mean alley-oop? You alley-ooping Americans to this dummy that's not going to give them anything but gave Asians $26 billion? This ain't basketball, Steve Harvey. This is politics. And politics decides people's life. Politics decide where you're going to live, how good you're going to live in that area, the rules you're going to live up under, and the school system. Everything is decided by politics. But you want us to go off of, your mama black, she can't do nothing. You know what's going on. You know what it is. Can't nobody get elected with a black agenda. So why are we voting for it? To vote for somebody that can't do nothing for us. Tell us why, Steve Harvey, that they were able to give $26 billion to the Asians in 2023. But black folks somehow, if we offer for anything, if we ask for anything, reparation, anything, we just some begging ass, crying ass, need to pull ourselves up out of bootstraps ass. Like, come on, man. I know y'all don't want to give me the credit because I'm just the right game, wrong nigga. I get it. I'm the wrong messenger. I was told, you was told I'm a bust, but a bust is right. Give the credit to Cat Williams. I don't care. But these niggas are go along, get along games. Anytime you have a man jump on TV or jump on his radio show and coerce or tell his followers to follow or unfollow black people that don't like Kamala. What if the black people was voting for Cornel West? Oh, that don't fit his narrative.
Yep. It don't fit his narrative. Yep. All right. Possibility of soulless people. And people who are out there giving dates to the rapture. Okay. This is the thing. Nobody knows the time that it's going to happen. Nobody. Okay. God ain't going to give no warning before it happens. It's just going to happen. It's that simple. If Jesus don't know the time and wasn't able to tell anybody the time, guess what? Nobody else is going to know. It's just going to happen. And people who are throwing dates on it, stop watching them. Stop watching them.
There's something huge going on, and y'all have got to know about it. My research for the last 13 years just took a very disturbing turn. So we all know about the theory that there's PNCs walking among us, people that aren't really people. It's a lot deeper than that. The Schumann frequency and its new record comes highly into play with what we're talking about right now, but we'll get to that in a second. I'll try to explain this as quickly as possible. So there's many different beings walking around us every single day. But the PNC that people are referring to, they're not really PNCs. They're actually soulless individuals. This has finally been accomplished over the last 6 decades. Now, I'm not at liberty to tell you guys how this has been accomplished, but the important thing is it has been accomplished. So we know the eyes are a window to the soul, correct? First thing to point out, the soul is not the spirit's not the soul. The soul is the living entity. When God breathes life, it breathes a living entity into someone. Soulless people are not spiritless people. Spirit is the inner being that lives in the flesh suit. The soul is the life. An example of that is if you get a little rodent and hold it against its will for a day or two in your hands, you will break its soul. It will no longer be who it was before by nature. So there are many people among us right now, and their soul has been broken. These people are living without any drive, barely any emotion, and a complete inability to see anything in the spiritual nature of this world. They are basically unalive, walking beside us that cannot see and cannot hear the things that we see and that we hear. And you can see this in the dullness of their eyes. And that's exactly why when people see graves, what do they see? Nothingness, emptiness in their big black eyes. We're not going to get into what the graves are right now. You can see that here. But they're semi-physical, semi-spiritual creatures without a soul. Spirit driving the machine, but no soul. Do not get the two mixed up. Spirit, soul, completely different. There's a reason that no matter how hard you try to wake these people up, to show these people things, they just cannot receive it. These people are just like walking corpses. They literally have no function besides work, home, work, home. And these individuals, these soulless, these NPC type people, they are programmed in every aspect of what they do. That's why they trust everything. They think you're crazy because these people have a complete inability to understand anything above the physical human life. The spiritual, the vibrations, the alternate dimensions, the dreams, the visions, all the things that happen outside of this visible light spectrum. And again, you'll know them by looking in their eyes. So I told y'all something big was going on. How do I know that? The Schumann frequency. It just hit an all-time high yesterday at 80 hertz. The natural resonance, the Earth's heartbeat, is 7.83. It was at 80. So if yesterday you felt real sick, you haven't been able to sleep, body chills, etc., but why has it been going off so much? He's off the charts all the time. It's not normal. After all my studies, I believe that this is a divine energy from God himself, and he is flooding the world with this spiritual energy so the soulless beings can actually see the things outside of their realm. The things that me and you see, the intuition that me and you have, the discernment that me and you have. I believe he is countering the evil agenda in the world by flooding it with his energy so they can see. Because otherwise, these soulless people, these NPCs, these people who have no understanding, these people would walk right off a cliff, and there's a giant cliff coming, and they'll walk right off of it just by a simple command. As I said, the mission to steal the human soul goes back decades. There are very high, wicked principalities that are dominating the earth and the spiritual realm, and no one can even see them. And these things, they have a plan. Break the soul, hijack the being, and bring these people to the second death. Let me leave you with this. Where would the demons, the fallen angels, and Lucifer himself, where would they be most active? In the part that can't be seen by human eyes. Because they will narrate the entire story, and we will only see the physical manifestation of them, but the soulless beings cannot see it.
Mm-hmm. 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 Here we go. Jesse Waters.
Monday night is the worst speaking slot. And then they keep him as far away from Kamala Harris as possible because the guy is so toxic. And then he flies to California to go on vacation after his speech. So if this guy actually decided himself that he was leaving, then he wouldn't be doing this. He would be basking in Chicago all 4 days. He would be here holding court. He would be here in Chicago doing fundraisers for Kamala Harris. But none of that is true. And that's why you can't believe anything the Democrats tell you. Everything is a lie. There is no joy here. The only joy is that Joe's gone. That's it. His legacy is horrible. Everybody caught COVID and he caught a coup. And then there was a land war in Europe and inflation and an invasion. So this ridiculous flattery is so insulting to the American people that this guy should be on Mount Rushmore. It's created this huge credibility gap now in the Democrats. Like, no one believes in Kamala Harris 9.0. No one believes the economy's good. No one believes these polls are real. You're saying, oh, kumbaya, everybody loves each other. Jessica's talking about unity. The Obamas hate Biden. Biden hates the Obamas. He hates Pelosi. The Clintons hate everybody. 10,000 people are out in the street of Democrats saying Kamala's a killer. And then all weekend, the press called Kamala an economic moron for price controls. This is not, as Biden would say, it's malarkey.
It's malarkey. Tom Fenton, here we go.
It's great news for justice. It's great news for the family of Ashley Babbitt. They finally got their day in court, a day that the Biden administration has tried to basically stop and delay. And now they're going to get more answers and more accountability for what happened to Ashley that day. Last week, we had an important federal court hearing in the $30 million wrongful death lawsuit that Judicial Watch filed on behalf of Ashley Babbitt's estate and her family. And it was filed against the federal government, initially filed out in San Diego, California. The Biden administration didn't want the case to proceed out there, and they successfully, at least for now, have moved it to here in Washington, D.C. And the federal court judge who was assigned this case had a hearing about it last week. And let me give you the details. We're still fighting and potentially going to appeal the removal of the case to Washington, D.C. for a variety of reasons. But as importantly, I'll leave it to the lawyers to say whether it's more importantly. But as importantly, at least from my perspective, is the court ordered the Biden administration to answer Ashley's core complaint in a few weeks, meaning I think by September 6th. And here's the let me get to the press release to get the detail here. So the hearing was August 6th, and the judge gave the government 30 days. So it is September 6th. Let me give you the specifics on it first. Hold on one second. The Justice Department must respond to this lawsuit's claims for wrongful death, assault and battery, negligence, and a claim for survival action under federal law. And so what happened is the government wants to answer those claims. And so now the case is going to proceed. Now, there are other claims that may be subject to dismissal, so there'll be fights over that. But here they're going to have to provide an answer, and I think we're going to proceed to discovery, or at least I hope that's the case. I mean, I know enough about civil litigation as a non-lawyer to know that nothing's ever certain. So in the ordinary course, I suspect we'd get discovery, but the government may seek to short circuit that. But to me, it's great news for justice. It's great news for the family of Ashley Babbitt. They finally got their day in court, a day that the Biden administration has tried to basically stop and delay. And now they're going to get more answers and more accountability for what happened to Ashley that day. And as you recall, she was shot for no good reason by then Lieutenant Michael Byrd of the U.S. Capitol Police. Here is the video of her being killed that day. I can't believe he shot her. I just can't believe it. Just popped out there, really ambushed her and shot her as she was crawling through that window. I mean, $30 million. Some might argue that's not enough for what happened to her. Babbitt, 35, owned and operated a successful pool business with her husband, Aaron. She traveled alone from San Diego to Washington to attend the Women's America First rally on January 6th. And as our complaint reads, the shooting occurred at the east entrance of the speaker's lobby. After demonstrators filled the hallway outside the lobby, two individuals in the crowded, tightly packed hallway struck and dislodged the glass panels in the lobby doors and the right door side light. Lieutenant Byrd, who was a United States Capitol Police commander and was the incident commander for the house on January 6, 2021, shot Ashley on site as she raised herself up into the opening of the right door side light. Byrd later confessed that he shot Ashley before seeing her hands or assessing her intentions or even identifying her as a female. Ashley was unarmed. Her hands were up in the air, empty and in plain view as Byrd and other officers, plain view of Byrd and the other officers in the lobby. As one witness said, "You murdered her." We highlight that in the complaint. And Byrd, of course, has been given special treatment by the Justice Department, the the DC Police, and of course the U.S. Capitol Police. He suffered no consequences administratively. He wasn't even seriously investigated. No grand jury investigation, as best we can tell. He didn't really fully cooperate with the investigation, such as it was, into Ashley's death. Ashley was the only official homicide victim that day. Yes, I know there were other protesters who were killed that day or died that day, and some have alleged, for instance, that Ms. Boyland was a homicide victim. But I mean, I'm not arguing that. For purposes of this discussion, though, Ashley is the only official homicide victim determined to have been shot and killed by Lieutenant Byrd. And now the Justice Department, the Biden administration, despite their best efforts and their refusal to come to grips with what Byrd did, and frankly, Congress's refusal to come to grips with what Byrd did, is going to have to answer in a few weeks. So this is great work by Judicial Watch's lawyers. And I know the family is thrilled to death that this case is proceeding because justice has been a long time coming. Ashley Babbitt's family, as I say, is thrilled. The $30 million wrongful death lawsuit for her outrageous killing is moving full speed ahead. So as events warrant, and we'll see what the government says, maybe I'll come back here and talk to you about it. But pray for justice for Ashley, and you can be sure Judicial Watch will continue to do everything we can to provide justice for Ashley and vindicate her memory.
And what's crazy is it's the American taxpayer who's going to pay that. It's the American taxpayer who's going to pay that. It's not taking any money out of anybody's pocket in Washington, D.C. The American people are the ones who are going to pay for that. Our tax dollars are what's going to pay for that. I think she's alive. I think George Floyd's alive too. Yeah. All right.
Standing here now, a biological male wearing a dress with a pair of leggings, do you sincerely believe that I should be subject to punitive justice on the basis of what I'm wearing?
I would encourage you to behave as a man, is what I would do, because you are a man, and I don't know how exactly you came to the point where you think you're a woman or very much would like to be a woman, but you aren't. And I don't think anyone who is affirming your delusion is helping. I think they're lying to you, and I think it's very disrespectful, and I think it will not lead to your flourishing. I think it will only immiserate you. You might hate me for telling you the truth, but I think the truth will set you free. Furthermore, your masquerading as a woman does infringe on the legitimate rights of other people, the rights of women to have their own bathrooms, the rights of women to have their own sports leagues. That is not something that you have a right to do, no matter how sincerely you believe the fantasy that you're a woman.
Yeah.
Standing here now, a biological...
No matter how much. I told you guys this story. It's funny to see it come up on here now.
I've got a history lesson for you. The history of the middle finger.
Yep. And I told you guys exactly about this, 4 years ago. People are now just catching up to it. Okay. I told you guys what the middle finger was about. And everybody's like, nah. Yeah. Okay. Well, here we go.
I've got a history lesson for you. The history of the middle finger. I just found out about it, and I feel compelled to share it with you, my intelligent friends. Because history is way more fun when you know more fun facts about it, right? So, before the Battle of Agincourt in 1415, the French, anticipating victory over the English, proposed to cut off the middle finger of all captured English soldiers because you can't shoot arrows without a middle finger. The British used this famous English longbow. It was made of the native English yew tree. And the act of drawing the longbow back was known as plucking the yew, or pluck yew. Sadly for the French, the English won and began mocking the French by waving their middle fingers at the defeated French, saying, see, we can still pluck yew. Now, over the years, Americans have since changed up the words, and pluck yew is now, well, you know what it is. And the one finger salute, because of the pheasant feathers on the arrows used with a longbow, is known as giving someone the bird. And you thought you knew every plucking thing.
Yeah.
Now you do.
Well, we did already. But thanks for the information. Yeah. Confirmation, I should say. Yeah. All right, here we go.
Has that worked? What are you hoping you're going to get out
I'm
of
not looking
this?
for a riot. I'm not looking for people to get severely injured or injured in general. I am here because it's a fun time. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Holding this sign feels fun to you?
Yes.
Do you worry that you're hurting the larger message here? And do you support the larger message here of anti-war?
Oh, I'm not anti-war. I'm anti-Israel.
Okay. Do you worry that your sign is harming the cause? Because obviously there's a lot of tension, the cameras and stuff on your side.
I understand that.
Not representing the overall.
Well, I
feeling
don't
here.
represent anyone, my friend. I don't represent any group but my.
I agree. You do not represent this crowd.
No, absolutely
Do you
not.
worry that being someone who opposes this war, that your message might get undue attention and then kind of
Backfire?
hurt the cause of shutting down the war?
But is that really my responsibility?
It's something you want. You said you want it.
I don't want the war, but what can one person do? What can I do? This is just me being a little catty.
I'm not saying you can stop the war, but
No.
I'm saying what you're doing is hurting that cause. Is
I don't
furthering.
know. I can't see until we have actual results. We can't predict what's going to happen in the future 2 hours from now, a minute from now. We don't know. And I'm just here patiently waiting.
You say you can't predict the reaction to your sign, but you said you're trying to instigate something with your sign. Right?
That doesn't mean I'm predicting. That means I'm
Okay, so if that were then.
Are you like hoping someone's going to assault you? Is that basically what you're getting at?
No.
What are when you say you're instigating that? What are you instigating?
For themselves. People need to think for themselves. Do you see how much hive mind bullshittery is around here? How many people are just conforming to this to get clout on social media? How many Caucasians are here for a cause that does not involve them? How many people are here in general for a cause that does not involve them?
I'd say better at least to be here for a good cause than a bad cause, like a racist or an anti-Semitic one. That's the cause
But
you're here
isn't
for.
the Gazans, aren't they kind of anti-Semitic?
I do not represent the Gazans. I'm not going to make any statements.
You got a flag on.
You got a flag on, my friend. I don't know.
I'm here to oppose U.S. shipment of arms for those of the Leahy Act to not ship arms to
And that's great.
further
You
war
should be
crimes.
giving them weapons. You should not be giving them weapons. That's
So
awesome.
I'm saying even if someone is anti-Semitic, they should not be killed for that.
I don't know if they should be killed. I just think they should be put back in their place as, hey, just because you're the elitist and you have money doesn't mean you can control my country.
For the record, do you identify as a fascist?
I would say I am a fascist, yes.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to see quite a bit of that today. Yeah. All right. Eric Trump drops the mic with a savage response to the DNC vasectomy bus. Here we go.
Really quickly, Eric, I just have to get your thoughts on this very popular item here at the DNC. We were shocked to find one unifying element here at the DNC, which is all DNC men are really excited about the moving vasectomy bus from Planned Parenthood. Apparently, you get onto this dodgy bus with blacked out windows, and it drives down the bumpy roads here, and guys get vasectomies like crazy, going like hotcakes. Just your thoughts on that.
Geez, it's actually probably one policy that I don't mind, right? You want to give vasectomies to people who otherwise listen, guys. We got to get serious about this nation. I mean, it's heartbreaking. We've spent the last 18 months debating whether or not a 6'5" female should be able to swim in women's sports. I'm sorry, a 6'5" male should be able to swim in women's sports. I mean, we've got real fundamental problems in our nation. I mean, we have 300,000 kids that died of fentanyl poisoning this year, right? 300,000 kids die of fentanyl. Literally, I said to Laura the other day, I go, we should start keeping Narcan in the house. Just like, God forbid, our kid picks up a $1 bill or something along those
They're
lines.
5 and 6 years old, but that's not a joke. And a lot of parents think about that. It's terrifying. Go ahead, honey.
100,000 kids that have died of right, and they don't do a damn thing about it. They laugh about it. They're nowhere to be found, right? We've had 13 million people come into the country while we've got real problems. We have schools. Our school system's rated 30th in the world. Think about it. We should be first. For the United States of America, we should be first in the world. Like, our economy sucks. Everything's way too expensive. Prices have skyrocketed. Upward mobility of people has got shot. Our manufacturers leaving this country again. John Deere just announced that they're closing down John Deere, a great American company, are closing down 2 massive plants. We do a lot of business with them on the Gulf side, and they're bringing them to Mexico. So all of a sudden, you've got a dollar that's so strong, which isn't a good thing, by the way, that people don't want to come over here in terms of tourism. You've got a dollar that's so strong that no one wants to buy our products. It's killing our manufacturing. I mean, I could go on and on and on. The only thing we seem to want to do is create weapons to send to foreign countries so they can shoot them at one another and just have millions of people die. And this is literally what the Democrats are doing. They're giving free vasectomies to people on buses in Chicago. I mean, can we please get serious about the world and our standing in the world? I mean, China, incredibly smart. They're coming after us. They want to be the language. They want to be the currency. They want to be the superpower of the world. And we're debating which bathroom people should be using, which locker room people should be using. I mean, these are the conversations we're having. Why don't we start focusing on priorities? I mean, start at number one, the economy, prices. People being able to live the American dream, the nuclear family, the education of our youth. The fact that we want to stay the superpower in perpetuity, and we can because we're better at all these things, but you got to stop choking people. You got to stop restraining kind of, that American, passion and will to innovate and work. We can do it so much better, but I mean, all we want to do is regulate. All we want to do is tax. All we want to do is make people's lives hell. And government, it's got to get serious. And they're not serious people. I mean, they're just not serious people. And I truly pray to God that we're able to save our country in November. I mean, I don't think our country can stand much more of this. I really believe that. I don't think anybody would have ever guessed that you could have had as much degradation in society as we've had in the last 4-year period of time. I would have never told you that government was that powerful, that you could have seen a country kind of dissolve the way the United States has over a 4-year period of time based on, an administration's incompetence. And, but I think what's most frustrating, I'm sorry, I'm ranting for a second. What's most frustrating to me is then you see Kamala come out and say, on day one, my priority is going to be pricing. It's like, I know the White House as well as any person in the world. So does Laura. So does the entire family. Your office is 14 feet away from Joe Biden's office, who everybody realized hasn't been running the country in all fairness over the last 4-year period of time. And you haven't done a damn thing. You haven't done a damn thing about that. We're going to get tough about immigration. We'd like to be tough about immigration. It's like you picked a running mate who said that if Donald Trump builds a 25-foot tall wall, you're going to build a ladder factory in Mexico to build 30-foot ladders. Right now, all of a sudden, yes, I'd like to get. They're so full of crap, and I just it pains me to say that because this is literally this is our family. This is those 2 beautiful kids you just showed on your show. I mean, this is the future. This isn't going to affect Laura and I, but this is going to be damning for the future of this nation. And I truly hope people can see through what's happening out there.
Yeah. Don Lemon. Here we go.
I worked for CNN for a long time. And, they were actually covering for Joe Biden and his mental decline for a long time. What are your thoughts on that?
It's very nice to meet you. That's my thought.
No thoughts on Joe Biden being pushed out for Kamala?
No, I don't. No
Nothing?
thoughts. But thank
Nothing?
you. But her name is Kamala, by the way.
Okay. I mean, don't you think it's an issue that the American people didn't democratically elect Kamala Harris?
You have to ask some. Why don't you ask a voter?
A voter?
Yeah.
Aren't you a voter, Don?
I'm a member of the press, and I don't want to give my opinion. So.
You don't want to give your opinion? You did a lot on CNN.
Thank you. But it's nice to meet you. You have a great day. What's your name?
Savannah.
Savannah. It's a real pleasure to meet you. Are you having a great time here?
I'm having a great time, Don. But
Yeah,
I want to
our
know.
democracy
I want
is
to know from the
really-
Democrat Party, how they feel about Joe Biden's mental decline and that the media covered it up for so long. I think that we should tell the truth to the American people. So I'm just wondering, No, nothing. What do you guys think?
Yeah, mental decline, Trump. Trump has the mental decline.
Not Joe Biden,
Yeah,
who
no,
was
not
pushed
Joe
out by
Biden.
his
No,
own
not
party
Joe
and is
Biden.
replaced by
Bye.
Kamala Harris.
Bye.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Wow. Yeah, there really is some mental illness going on over there, isn't there? Yep. All right. This dude is hilarious. Here we go.
Kamala Harris. The Indian community will most definitely not be voting for you. Specifically because you think everybody deserves the same income no matter what profession? Bitch, that is communism! What kind of anti-American bullshit are you trying to sell us? All Indians know that you must study and work very hard to afford Tesla. How dare you try to take away all our hard work and studying to become doctor or engineer? The Indian community has worked far too long and hard to not become regional Slurpee manager at 7-Eleven. Kamala, as the CEO of Indians, I revoke your presidential campaign. You will never be able to run for office in a democratic nation ever again, especially Prime Minister of India. But shit, you can run against Putin, since you're communist. Don't act like us. Don't act like us. Don't act like us.
Poor dog. All right, here we go. Sobic. Here we go.
How many abortions have you had? How many abortions have you had? How many abortions have you had today?
DNC. I'm getting paid by George Soros to have an abortion on the stage with no drug.
Which way are you going? Which way are you going?
What do you mean, which way?
Which type of abortion?
What kind of abortions are there, Jack?
There's pills, there's tools, there's number weight.
So it's going to be on stage. So a normal person would think that they would use tools, right? And vacuum it out and do all of that. Like if I took a pill that takes several days and nothing happens, you won't see anything. So you should probably study how female anatomy works. And
how many abortions have you had? How many abortions have
Wow. Yeah. All right. John McAfee says proof and evidence. Hillary's uranium won. Well, let's go here and go like this because I want to make sure that that we're able to read this. Hillary's uranium run document with signature gets leaked. Article 7 entry late fears. And either that's blurry or I need my glasses. Oh yeah, that's blurry. This protocol shall be applied provisionally from the date of the signature and shall enter into force on the date of the last written notification that the parties have fulfilled their national procedures required for entry into force of the agreement and or the protocol to the agreement between the government of the United States of America and the government of Russian Federation concerning the management and disposition of plutonium designated as no longer required for defense purposes and related corporation signed at Washington on September 15, 2006, and this protocol. Yeah. And there is Hillary signing it away. Yep. All right. Here we go.
All ancient civilizations knew the true shape of the earth. This is proof we live in an enclosed, geocentric realm. This effect can only happen with some sort of barrier, so the sun's light can reflect off it. Watch till the end, and you will see some basic experiments you can try for yourself.
Just gotta get rid of the music. Yeah. It's becoming more and more and more apparent to people. Metal bowl and a lighter. Real simple. Yep. So many things. So many things. All right, moving on. Protesters are beginning to shake the wall at the DNC Chicago. I wouldn't be surprised if they break through it tonight. We saw some of that yesterday. Bro activated the trap card. Here we go.
Beautiful trans woman out here. Tell us about your transition, how it went.
Can I hold this, please?
No. So I have a question for you. Why are you asking me those questions?
Like we're interviewing like trans women and stuff like that.
I'm not a trans woman. I'm a.
Oh no, we're fully supportive. Do you want to talk about sort of transitioning or anything like that, or like what people
I
can?
never transitioned because I was born a woman.
No, of course you're a woman. Of course.
Does it make a trans woman any less of a woman?
No, you are 100% a woman.
I'm not a trans woman.
Is there another definition that people like to use, or?
You thought I was a man?
Beautiful trans women out here, tell us about your trans.
Oh boy. Okay, the DNC karma. Here we go.
The DNC is Monday. If you're not like me and you actually give a shit, here's what you need to know. Grab you a cup of liberal tears and let's get into it. Refreshing. The Democrats are scared shitless. Of who? Wait for it. You'd think it'd be Republican protesters. The people in the red hats are coming. The people in the red hats are coming. We went from red coats to red hats. It would be nothing like that. It's their own fucking protesters. Oh, now it's a problem. Oh, now they're violent. Oh no, not the violence. You literally cannot make this shit up. Honestly, why would you want to? The script is genius. The attendees are having to sign up under false pretenses. Incognito. What do you think Tim and Kamala signed up as? Norbit and Rasputia? Told you once, I told you twice, to be just in my seat. Even at their hotels, for fear of their own safety, from their own fucking pro-Palestinian party. Are you serious? Still vote for each other, that's how dumb they are. You created that monster. Yeah, you did. You started that shit in 2020. Stand up, burn everything to the ground, yeah. Fight that! They're fighting. Good, I hope you shit your pants the entire time you're there. You started this shit. Have flashbacks of J6. People that we hired. Oh no, are they gone yet? I forgot to take my Detrol. Now the girls are fighting. Joe hates Nancy. Actually, be honest, I feel sorry for Joe. Joe hates everybody. Because he got gangbanged right out of the election. Joe is going to be speaking Monday. They cut his time off and going to give some of it to Hillary. Like anybody wants to hear her ass. You also going to hear Obama, Bill, and then Kamala. That's the lineup of lying liberals. We're going to be talking about how to make America great again without saying those words. Expected to be more pro-Palestinian protesters there, around 20,000, than actually people attending the DNC. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I can stomach talking about the DNC. Go with the Lord. Nobody gives a fuck. Literally, it's making me nauseous. Fuck a Democrat.
I'd rather not have sex with a Democrat. Thanks. Anyways. All right. Chicago presidential candidates Cornel West and Jill Stein holding an abandoned Harris campaign rally at the DNC.
I'm here because I have an unstoppable love for my precious Palestinian brothers and sisters. And when you love them, you hate the fact that they're being treated unjustly and unfairly. So when it comes to genocide, when it comes to ethnic cleansing, when it comes to apartheid, that's true anywhere in the world, any color, any gender, any sexual orientation, any nation. But we're talking about our precious Palestinian brothers and sisters and siblings in Gaza and the West Bank. I come from a black people who've been hated and terrorized and traumatized for 400 years, and yet taught the world so much about love and freedom and wounded healing. So my starting point is to applaud each and every one of my brothers and sisters and siblings for standing here. Because we're in it, not tied to an election or some Machiavellian politics or some utilitarian calculus. But we're here because we love oppressed people, and in this case, it's Palestine. Yes. It could be any oppressed people. It could be Jews in Germany. It could be landless workers in Brazil. Yes. It could be brothers and sisters in Haiti. But we live in an American empire that has such unbelievable spiritual decay and moral deterioration. They think they can reproduce themselves with a level of hypocrisy and mendacity and criminality and get away with it. And we're simply here to say, chickens come home to roost. You're going to reap what you sow. Sooner or later, your lies and your crimes will be revealed and disclosed, because truth crushed to earth will rise again, and truth is bigger than all of us, but it has something to do with the suffering of those who find themselves in place and predicaments that the great Frantz Fanon called the wretched of the earth, and we are in solidarity with them.
Yeah. Okay. Not sure exactly. Yep. All right. Here's a protester for you. Somebody's out there chanting the truth. There we go. All right.
People tell you who. It's a pretty good rule. When people tell you who they are, you should believe them.
I'm not asked this yet. I'm gonna get myself over this sign.
You're watching the Kramer Says Project.
It's a pretty good rule. When people tell you who they are, you should believe them.
Yep. They tell you everything.
Surprised nobody has called out the inherent racism of the Democrat Party. First, you're employing a wall racist. Then you have this heavy presence of police. We know that's racist. And then you have this mandatory ID business, which is, of course, as you know, in an effort to be transparent, that is racist. So when border towns want a wall, racist. Business owners plead for police protection, racist. People want transparent elections, racist. But it's not racist when the Dems realize it's necessary. It's necessary to protect their power, themselves. It's just like when Cory Bush, was for defunding the police but had private security. This is that times 10. Does anybody tell the Democrats that the police also carry guns and that many of these police officers are white men? Right there are two racist dog whistles, right-wing elements that they're, again, exploiting for their personal behalf. It's kind of disgusting, but you're right. It is infuriating that basic things people need for their own safety and security is denied them, but for them, they get it whenever they want.
Yeah. Yep. Just keep rolling. All right. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst.
New Joe Biden had made an appearance, sans the ball chins. I'm not really sure what happened to those. Looking lost as ever. It's fine. It's probably fine. He's carrying the nuclear codes, but it's probably fine. Speech. Kind of. Mary Trump was there. That's all I got to say about that. Hillary Clinton showed up. One of the Hillary Clintons. I don't know. Parked free vasectomies and abortions truck outside the DNC where people could sign up to get free vasectomies and abortion pills. Jolly Good Ginger had showed up to the DNC to drive that point, I'm assuming about abortions home, with Charlie Kirk, who got in, I'm not really sure, but then walked around and was doing content.
Is that pro-life, Charlie? Do you believe in giving children food? Do you believe in giving children food, Charlie? What about welfare programs, Charlie? I believe in protecting them after they're born, Charlie. Forcing women to give birth and then dying in the process, Charlie. So you believe in that's more profane than anything without you, Charlie. That's the part of your joy. The profane, the
He never did let him answer. Kamala Harris had sent notification to the Trump campaign that she will not be doing the Fox News debate. As far as it sits right now, as debate-wise, it looks like there's only going to be one presidential debate and one VP debate, but don't quote me on that. Different articles saying a lot of different things from 1 to 2, but there would definitely will not be a Fox News debate. The Trump campaign is going to do a town hall instead that night with Hannity. There was a lot of debate about how many people were actually at the DNC. There's still a lot of discussion going on around that. Ed Krasistan from X posted this picture, calling out everybody that's saying that the DNC is empty, calling them all fools. This place is rock, and they're afraid to admit that. The problem is, the picture that he posted was from a Metallica concert, straight from their stories. Rumors going around that Kamala Harris had been drinking during the entire thing. She had given up and given a speech and sounded very off even for her. I don't have the clip, but you can go find it. And it's probably fine. It's probably going to be fine. Totally legit. Probably going to be a completely fair and free election. Probably. Maybe. I'm just ready to get this all over with. Like, I'm ready for it to be November so we can find out what's going to happen and then we can make a plan and go on. I'm tired of a lot of this. I'm tired of a lot of it, especially from the Democratic side, because a lot of this stuff that they're putting out is being debunked, like with Ed Krasistan. Krassstein. There was also a wall that was built around the DNC building where they were having the convention, but that wall had been infiltrated by the protesters who then were pushed back by the police. But as far as I know, there are still thousands of protesters outside the building. It is in my not super expert opinion that you're seeing kind of the fall of everything right now. You're seeing everything just kind of come down. I don't know what's going to happen. I can only hope for the best, and that's what I'm doing. I'm hoping for the best and preparing for the worst at the same time. Kamala had come out, part of their economic plan was to put caps on what like companies could charge in the stores. The problem with that is then the federal government controls the caps, so the federal government can control how much you buy, and that never worked. That never worked in any country that they've ever done that in. It's going to be real bad if they get in, and the people that need to see it won't see it because they're so ingrained in the hype and the popularity of the whole thing. And the best thing, we can do is we can do our best. We can go vote and we can hope for the best, but plan for the worst. I'm hoping we're at the end of this, but in the off chance that we're not, get on the right side of things, do the best you can, and we just keep going.
Yeah, that's shipwreck. Moving on. Actually, I'm not going to play this one. I have a better one above of that, and we'll get into that. All right.
If y'all were under the impression that Kamala Harris was going to win Pennsylvania, because it's a Democrat stronghold and she's so popular there, you might want to think again. Because if Kamala Harris was so popular with the people, she wouldn't have needed to kick all the locals out of a restaurant so she could bus in her paid actors. Yeah, that just happened. Diners tear into Kamala Harris's campaign for kicking them out of a Pittsburgh restaurant to bus in their own crowd for a campaign stunt. Here's the video.
Terrible people. Tell us again what happened to Primanti Brothers? They kicked us out of Primanti Brothers so that they could get the paid actors inside.
See all those Ford Transit vans? They kicked us out of Primanti Brothers, one man commented as the person in the crowd filmed a caravan of over a dozen unmarked Ford Transit vans. We were making fun of them saying, look at all the paid actors. They literally kicked everyone out. They had last call at 4 p.m. Also, they could bring in paid actors to act like they actually like Kamala Harris. And of course, when she stepped out of the campaign bus and entered the restaurant, adoring fans and campaign media welcomed her and snapped pictures. She is literally so unliked that she didn't want to take the risk of running into actual people from Pittsburgh. So they just bust in actors in more than 12 unmarked Ford Transit vans. These people were paid to act like they give the slightest fuck about her. And the locals, the people that are actually going to vote, were kicked out. It's one hell of a grassroots campaign if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Funny how this is happening, right? Like Joe at the car dealerships. Yep. All right. Katie Hopkins, batshit bonkers Britain.
Breaking news here in batshit bonkers land, where we find out that you're supposed to believe that a yacht off the coast of Sicily that was pretty much unsinkable actually sunk in a small storm that affected absolutely nobody else. It just so happened that on board that was a guy that just screwed Hewitt Packard over for 8.83 billion or so, the chairman of Morgan Stanley, and the lawyer that defended the guy that won against the billionaires. The thing with billionaires is they don't like to lose, and it doesn't matter how much money they've got, you don't get to dick them around. And then coincidentally, the co-founder of the company also got knocked off his bike and killed just a few days ago, quite by chance, I'm absolutely certain. In other news, Comrade Kamala takes to the stage at the DNC. She is as fake as the tits on Katie Price, or the face for that matter. And there's one thing for certain, Jill Biden is absolutely friggin' livid. Just look at her body language right now. She is the wife at a party that wants to kill her husband, but has to wait till she gets in the car to give him a proper bollocking from which he will never recover. She does not care about Joe Biden one little bit anymore, and she's ready for him to die in his diapers. Meanwhile, in the UK, we're releasing actual serious criminals so that we can make room to lock up a grandma who did a hurty tweet or a Facebook post. That's it. Everything's normal here on Batshit Bonkers Planet.
Oh, yeah. You know how that goes. All right. Jonathan Cho, here we go.
Or I'm outside the United Center right now, and officers have been called in. I've heard that they're going to potentially deploy some gas right now, but easily more than 100 Chicago police officers now lined up right outside the United Center after the activists ripped down fencing, several people arrested. So not sure how this is all going to end.
You ready for gas?
They just said get ready for gas.
Off of.
Yeah.
Or I'm outside the United States.
Here we go.
When you got that letter, what was your reaction?
I pretty much screamed my head off for a good 10 minutes.
When Andy Biggio read the letter from Donald Trump, he expected maybe $2,000 for his charity.
New England Wounded Veterans Inc., $75,000.
Couldn't believe the size of the donation.
Andy grew up in Winthrop, served in the Marines, doing tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. He came home physically unscathed, but wanted to help his brothers and sisters in the military who didn't come back whole.
When you got that letter, what was your reaction?
I pretty much screamed my head off for a good 10 minutes.
When Andy Biggio read the letter from Donald Trump, he expected maybe $2,000 for his charity.
New England Wounded Veterans Inc., $75,000.
Couldn't believe the size of the donation.
Andy grew up in Winthrop, served in the Marines, doing tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. He came home physically unscathed, but wanted to help his brothers and sisters in the military who didn't come back whole. When you got...
Yeah, I wanted that to play twice just because I was busy doing something else. Sorry. Had to share my blueberry muffin. Yep, there we go.
It's dark. Good evening, everybody. It's dark, and I'm tan, so it looks darker. I was gonna try and sit through this, and there's no way. I cannot do it. I can't stomach any of it. The second I saw Drunk Mala up there, I would not be able to do 4 years of that voice. That and then the woman who bullied women when her husband cheated on her, I think her name was Hillary Clinton. You know, when she's up there, and then we got Steve Kerr, like sick to basketball. I can't do it. What I will say is here in Southwest Florida, we have a local news station. It's called Wink News. They were the only ones that actually reported our local news and not the DNC like every other station. So that was nice that I got to watch my local news without the DNC. We're going to watch some Real Housewives of what? Orange County, hun?
Yeah, we have an episode.
Yeah, that I can send. Trash TV. I'd rather do that. I mean, the other TV is trash. This is just made up trash. So until tomorrow, have a good one.
Conservative, here we go. Joe Biden's flubs.
Wade, as you heard earlier tonight, the United States Supreme Court majority wrote the following, quote, women are not without electoral or political power. No kidding.
They're without electrical power. Wow. All right. We'll be all right. All right. Peggy Dodson, here we go.
Hey everybody, it's AD. How y'all doing tonight? Oh, the party's getting ready to start in Chicago. I hear it is like crazy already. And so Simon said that even though this is the first night, the arena is virtually empty, and I just saw it. I was asking today where are the people, but of course, the program usually starts in the evening. But, you know, when I was night and day between the Democratic National Convention and the Republican National Convention, it is night and day. Listen, the Republican National Convention, we had a festival. People were happy. It was loving. There was no protest. There was one little protest. That was it. It was like downtown. It was like 20 people. That's it. I mean, the security was awesome. It was packed. Everybody was dancing and happy. And here you go here with Antifa, and these protesters are out here breaching through the fence that they put around. We didn't have any kind of fencing put around the Republican National Convention. This is like really, you know what? It's not really a convention, because I heard that they colored the water red, and you're giving vasectomies and you're doing abortions. That's not a fucking convention. That's a satanic ritual. That's what it is. And Sleepy Joe's going to open up tonight, and he's dead. It's so interesting how all the people that are speaking have been eliminated. I mean, when you know. They don't tell me anything about that. I have some intel to reveal tomorrow, but I won't get into it tonight. But it's wild. It's wild. I mean, where's the enthusiasm? It's all smoke and mirrors. All the I'm so glad I decided not to go. Listen, I was going to go this morning. I decided, because I saw one of my colleagues there. I don't know why he was there. I have some colleagues there. I have media people there, but I saw one client. I said, "What is he doing there?" He said he's in the middle of the snake pit. So I said, well, maybe I should just go for one day, the last day, but I don't know about this. It does not seem like, from the intel that I'm getting, there's I'll talk about it tomorrow, but I don't know. I'm seeing that Kamala may not be the one. That's all I have to say. I have to say it. It is on and popping. Get your popcorn. I know we've been through hell and high water and all that kind of shit, but it's really disturbing. What if I was there? It's really disturbing. It's really disturbing what these evil beasts are doing. And so the world is seeing this shit, and whoever is still supporting it after this, y'all know. You know what they are. You know what they are. That's all I have to say. So Peggy D reporting. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I have some other stuff. I was just, I went to the liquor store. I got me some champagne and some strawberries. I'm going to watch Sleepy at 10 o'clock and see how sleepy's going to be. And I can't believe he's opening. But, the show usually starts the show. Okay, it is a show. It is a show. It's a movie. Usually things get up and start about 5:30, and they're only showing 1 hour today. So maybe they'll show more as the week goes on and there's more riots. Oh, those peaceful riots that are burning down everything and people are fighting. Peaceful. All right, peacefully, let's go see. Peace. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right, that was Peggy Dodson. There we go.
I think I just might change my name on here to Liberals Nightmares, because shit, I bring nothing but cold hard facts and they fucking hate it. I'll keep this one short for you. And just so you know, you might want to share it, because I guarantee it ain't gonna be on here for long, but I don't give a fuck. If you're black in Chicago and still voting for Democrat, you're a fucking idiot. So not only did they flood your fucking neighborhoods with illegals, but they gave them money, food, and a place so they can hibernate and fuck like rabbits and breed up. But now they just came and parked a fucking mobile Planned Parenthood RV to provide free abortions and vasectomy in your overly black populated neighborhoods, because they just really love you, right? So they bring in your replacement, they fund their repopulation, and then bring in something for your depopulation. And you're still saying Walz, Harris, Walz 2024. You're dumb. You're dumb.
These guys are getting good. They're getting good. They're putting out good content. Here we go.
We living in the last days when evil is portrayed as good and good is portrayed as evil. We living in the last days when the devil is not even hiding anymore. Like, these folks ain't even hiding their demonic ways even more. When I call the Democrats demons, y'all look at me crazy. When I call that lady a demon and I tell y'all she is the devil, y'all trying to make it seem like I'm crazy. But to be doing abortions Abortions on wheels is wild. But to be doing abortions, and mind y'all, I've never had an abortion. I'm for people doing what they do. Don't ever take any one of my videos as me telling you what to do. I'm a stranger. Do what you do. You have to answer for the decisions you make. You have to live with the decisions you make, not me. Do what you do. However, holding your conference and your rally to be the first female president of the United States and to be doing abortions outside of that conference is insane. Can't nobody, I don't care how y'all try to flip it, toss it, turn it. You cannot tell me that is not demonic. Although I've never had an abortion, I know people who have had an abortions. And not one person has ever told me that it was not traumatizing. Not one person have ever told me that they've done that and did not cry. Now, I do know some people on multiple abortions, and I feel like maybe you become used to it or numb to it or whatever. I'm not talking about that. But to be doing such an act around thousands of people, around chaos, to be giving speeches, knowing that babies are being killed outside on a bus, a procedure like that, you cannot tell me that that is not demonic. You cannot tell me that is not the devil written all over it. Folks going to a clinic and doing what they do, coming out who they are, whatever. But to do that around such chaos, to do that on a bus, anybody with just sympathy and a heart would just know that that is not right, bro. I don't care. Like I am, and my stance on abortions, like I said, I've always been do what you do. But this election and the way y'all brains have turned into absolute mush because you are in that much of a hurry to get rid of a baby that you created. Don't come into my comment sections with the technicalities. I know about the technicalities. I'm not talking about that. Thinking a woman who does not have biological kids of her own has the best interest has your best interest at heart when it comes to your biological child. You just for your brain to turn into mush to think that you're fighting for your rights as a woman when you are single-handedly you don't even have the courage to actually fight for your rights as a woman. You don't have to have courage to ask these people what a woman is, and they tell you a woman is whoever says they're a woman. Y'all are so comfortable in your sin that y'all are actually willing to let all your discernment and your common sense go straight out the window. If you do not think that that is absolutely insane, if you do not see how they are absolutely trying to control the population, control everything, control your body. Like I honestly cannot believe this is life. I honestly cannot believe this is our reality, bro. Like, and it's so for real. Like, I truly feel like I'm living in a Twilight Zone. Like, we cannot be serious. You will not be able to say you did not know the things that you came into agreement with. You cannot lie and say that because they're not even hiding. If you do decide to go get an abortion at this rally amongst these high-level demons, bro, you might not leave with the blessing God gave you. You might not leave with that baby, but I promise you that you're going to leave with much more. They are performing a procedure on a bus in front of thousands of people with around people that don't even have your best interest at heart. Their best interest at heart. Around just straight chaos. And you think that's normal? You don't think that's demonic at all? I don't care how comfortable you are in your sin. I don't care about the sins that God forgave you for. That does not make it right in his eyes. Them people is playing with God. They're playing with God. And if you're coming into agreement with this foolishness, with these things that are not of God, and you want to say that you don't know, you did not know, you cannot even play crazy. This is not one of the things you can play crazy about. It's insane, bro. This is sad. Do what you do. Do what you do. I'm not judging you. But I promise you, you let these people perform that on you amongst the demonic spirits already out there. Okay.
Yep. Giving yourself away to the devil. Yep. All right. Breaking. Kamala Harris backs out of the Fox News debate with Donald Trump, is apparently scared to debate Trump on the network. Comrade Kamala Harris has just informed us that she will not do the Fox News debate on September 4th. Announced. I'm not surprised by this development because I feel that she knows it is very difficult at best for her to defend her record, setting flip-flopping on absolutely everything she once believed in. Trump said he will be willing to do a town hall event instead with Sean Hannity. The Harris campaign appears incredibly worried about putting her and walls up against Trump and Vance, as they only agreed to 2 presidential debates and 1 vice presidential debate. Yeah. All right, here we go.
You're homeless here in Chicago, right?
Yes, sir.
How are they treating you here in Chicago?
Well, they put us out of the. They got the migrants getting all the spaces now, and they throwing us out of the shelters like it's nothing.
And so, where are you sleeping?
Most of the time, I get a tent. I got a little tent, and I go sleep under the bridge down there.
And so, you sleep in a tent while the migrants get put in the hotels?
Yes, sir. You got it.
And how does that make you feel?
Are you serious? I feel bad.
What would be your message to Mayor Johnson and to the President of the United States?
Take care of the ones that's here too. Continue to do that in the mentally ill people too.
So were you kicked out of the shelters for the migrants?
Yeah, basically, yes.
And what'd they tell you?
They finna put the migrants in here. That's simple as you gotta go. They finna live here.
Yep. Pickmingo, they're doing vasectomies and abortions at the DNC, yes. Chicago for Jesus, I'd play this, but the music in the background would get us a strike. So they're marching all over Chicago, preaching the gospel and singing songs and marching. All right, DNC comparisons. Here we go.
So I have a question, a genuine, true question. Hi, how's everybody doing? I'm sitting here and I'm watching this little DNC thing. Why is there nobody sitting in the top? Because when I was at the RNC, there was not a seat available to sit, no standing room. So, and it was a much bigger venue. So I'm just trying to figure out here, why is it did maybe people couldn't get there on time or something? Because, and then also I had a question. I don't ever remember Donald Trump having to practice on stage before he went out. Like it was like the build up, surprise. I've walked out, I'm here. Why is the guy Joe, why is he practicing for all day on stage? I'm just confused. Anyways, so I guess it must be just a much different setup. And there must be an overwhelming amount of people waiting in line at one of those abortion, what is it? A mobile home? Well, that makes sense. Okay, I'm just going to continue watching. I just want to give you a couple updates. All right.
Conservative ant. He's funny. Absolutely funny. Here we go. Pretty accurate, says MJ Ultra. This guy's do you imagine waking up next to that? I mean, seriously, could you imagine waking up next to that? I'd be moving. Here we go.
You just quote the Bible and then say the Bible doesn't exist. How can you go back and forth? You use it when it's beneficial to you.
Say fuck Trump.
Nah, I don't cuss.
Say fuck Trump.
I don't cuss.
Say fuck Trump.
What makes you not like him? What has he done? Is it because he's the greatest president of all time?
Listen, a human doesn't happen until that individual is born.
That's not what science says.
No, that's
Science says life begins at conception.
That's not what the Bible says.
It says I knew you when you were formed in
But
the
God
womb.
doesn't exist, so this is even a.
Then why did you just quote the Bible? You just quoted the Bible and then she says that it doesn't exist.
That's what you believe.
You just quote the Bible and then say the Bible doesn't exist. How can you go back and forth? You use it when it's beneficial to you. Give me facts. Give me stats. You have nothing, man. You call him racist. You call him pro-life.
Keep going. Those are
But you can't give me a factual statement.
I just gave you. Look,
give
are
me
you a
something
white
he's
male?
done.
Are you a straight white male?
What does it
That's
matter? What does
every
race
state-
matter?
Go
What
ahead.
does race matter?
Yep. Convenience of the book. That's what that is. Convenience of the book. All right. There are diss tracks all over TikTok about Kamala, and we're going to share one with you right now. Yeah.
Kamala Harris, you need to sit back and shut up and take a look. The last person that we need as president is you. No, I'm sorry, but your skin color and big smile won't do. You ain't fit to be no president, and your past service is proof. Just look at the border. Since you've been over it, you letting everybody come through. It's estimated that about 15 to 20 million people came in illegally under your watch. You're supposed to tighten that border, but you done caused too many leaks. Look at Chicago and Denver and New York City too. Just ask Oakland, this migrant assistant hit them too. Giggling inside of the taxpayers' pockets to give an illegal a home. How are you tripping? This can't be real. This who you Democrats really fall on. I'm starting to see that they really don't care about no policy. All that they see is a race. As long as your culture is black and your skin is like mine, you get my vote any day, man, and they still don't see the truth. Snake in the grass. Kamala, she a snake in the grass. Snake in the grass. Snake in the grass. Kamala, she a snake in the grass. Snake in the grass. Snake in the grass. Kamala, she a snake in the grass. Miss Kamala Harris, you need to sit back and shut up and take off your mask. Snake in the grass. Kamala, she a snake in
And I just want to remind everybody that, let's see. Let's see here. Let's see. Oop, wrong one. That's the one I want. Witches in the White House. Now, you saw what I typed in. Witch in the White House. Witches in the White House. Brief history. All right. Witches cast mass spell against Donald Trump. Yeah. But the one that I'm looking for is, let's see. Oh, maybe I need to be a little bit more specific, right? So let's put Kim Clement and see what comes up there. Wow. They really don't want Kim seen. Yep.
Our usual den, we've called it a den, but it's actually another prophetic alert. God keeps doing these little things with us, especially this week. So I've had a lot of dreams, revelations, more than normal, and I think it's because of the activity that's taking place in the White House, what's taking place with Israel, what's taking place with Saudi Arabia. And I have not watched much of the news, but I'm aware of a few little things. The revelation that I received, or the dream that I received, was about an attack, a terror attack in the United States of America. Now, most people would say, well, that's pretty obvious. It's not actually, because I've had a prophecy that there wouldn't be another 9/11 kind of terror attack, meaning that not on that scale. So I know that there are so many of you watching all over the world, and we have a live audience, by the way, who are privileged to be in the presence of God in the actual building. And it does make a difference. So I encourage you, if you have the opportunity to actually come here, you will notice the difference. It's unbelievable. So we're going to go into praise, and then hopefully God will expound on what I received. It was so overwhelming that when I was in my garden this morning praying, the Spirit of God came on me, and it was really overwhelming when I saw specific places, and I had to say to the Lord, what do you want me to reveal? What do you want me to say without endangering myself? I'm not exaggerating at all. The way He has been sharing secrets with me and things that are, well, they're pending. Let me put it that way. I think that prayer can make a difference. No, I don't think so. I know prayer can make a difference. Yeah. I'm hoping in this instance it does. Yes. You know, Ephesians chapter 6. You know, I'm a prayer warrior, so I pray a lot. But when I was, Ephesians 6 came to me this morning, where it says that we must come to Him with various kinds of prayers, different kinds of prayers. So there are different levels of prayer. I need you, all of you watching me, to join me in prayer. When we praising, you'll always see this happening with me. Something will happen and I'll start praying or proclaiming. What you need to do is join us when that happens, please. Because as I was praying earlier, there's a demonic principality that has entered into the United States air, into the air atmosphere. It is because, excuse me, it is because of what is happening on the top, on the very top level at the White House, and decisions being made right now. I'd never seen this before, but I mean, I didn't see it as clearly as this before. I know we've had visitations and demonic strongholds coming in. I don't like to labor on the point of demons, but we are in a spiritual war. Ephesians clearly tells us that we are in a spiritual war. It also says in Corinthians that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but they're mighty through God, the pulling down of strongholds. So what the enemy has to do is he has to get into the head of the people. That's why news media is so important and so powerful. They have to get into the mind and the soul of the people. And so it is our prayer that God will break that principality down. For I fear for the people that this terror attack will take place. I'll share that with you later on. It's not to put you in fear at all. We are going to move mountains. The Bible says that in the presence of the Lord, listen to this, in the presence of the Lord, mountains melt like wax before the presence of the Lord. There are a variety of mountains that need to melt in the United States of America, not only in America, all over the world, but specifically Israel. And you know, I on the way here, I overheard these words, and this is what it is. God said, I've heard the affliction of my people, and I will come down to deliver them. Remember that? That's what I was reminded this morning of for His people, Israel. Right. Israel is in a very desperate situation. Its greatest ally, the United States of America, seemingly or seems to be turning its back, or at least the leader of this nation does. And if you know behind the scenes stuff, you'll realize that Israel is in a desperate battle, and they want to kill and destroy them, as we know. But I feel that we must. Lord, I sense light. Doesn't matter how untidy I may be, but I'm prophesying light. I'm prophesying that there is light. If there were no light, then fear should strike you. If there was no refuge, then fear should strike you. But there is still light in this nation. There is still light upon the earth, says the Lord. What do I speak of? The light of my revelation, the light of my word, the light of my presence will cause your mountains to melt as wax before the presence of the Lord. Hear me, says the Lord. There is light, and light will protect you, but where are the people and the bearers of light? Where are the bearers of light, says the Lord? As you praise, as you shout, as you pray throughout the earth, I will release more light, says the Lord, and it shall protect your highways and your byways. I will not need you to build walls, says the Lord.
I will not need you to build walls. I am built a wall of protection, that Islam in its power shall not corrupt the children of this generation. Yes, radical Islam men have said, we will take your children's minds. God says, I say nay. I say nay. This shall not happen to my people, says the Lord. I have heard the affliction of my people Israel. Once again, I've heard the affliction of my people Israel. And now I'm raising up a banner, says the Lord. Yes, there is something I showed my prophet. I saw it, and I'll tell you what I saw. I saw the Hyatt Regency Hotel. It was not any other hotel. I was in it. I was on the 9th or the 10th floor. And suddenly the walls began to crumble down as there was a terror attack. I'm not sure of the city, but I think it could have been Chicago or that region. And the Spirit of the Lord said, even though this shall be something that is only brought upon by those that have been unrighteous, those who have rejected Israel, I told you, Mr. Obama, I told you, if you do not have a captivating love for my Israel, then there shall be death on your streets. There shall be bloodshed in America. But God said, I'm waiting to hear the sound of light. For there shall be bloodshed and there shall be more. But I shall hold back the terror that came on 9/11. For I have said to my prophet, there shall never be another 9/11 in your generation. Therefore those words shall stand up, but terror shall be applied to those that have wasted my time. Therefore watch out, for God says, even though it shall be a strike, it shall not be successful, says the Lord. For many years ago in a Hyatt Regency, my prophet stood and prophesied, and yes, said the Lord, it did happen. But I raised up a man that stood against Islam. I raised up a man that stood against the war, against the nations that would come against Israel. Where is that man? I call for that man now, says the Lord. I call for that man again to come onto the scene and take the seat in the White House and be a noble president, says the Lord. Come on. Come to the place of light. Come to the place of light. There is a city of refuge. The city of refuge is my son, Jesus. The city of refuge is Yeshua, the priest who died so that you could be freed from your sins. Have I not looked upon this nation and said, you deserve this or that? I have chastised. I have brought upon it things that I never dreamed they would want. But God says, I have looked upon you, and there are righteous men and women that are crying out, releasing light, light everywhere. Raise up your hands with me, everybody throughout the earth. It fell out of the, whatever you call that thing? The what? The stand. That's, excuse me when I'm prophesying and get into another world. It fell out of the stand. The other two held, even though I pulled the one out. And God said, grab it. Don't let it fall. For I've called you. I'm prophesying myself today. I've called you to hold that nation up. I've called you to hold up their honor and to take as many people as you can to that land and take as much as you can to free and support them and stand with them. And I will. And I will. As long as I have breath, this prophet will prophesy to dead bones. There is an army that shall arise, a spiritual army of Messianic Jews who will scream out his name, Yeshua, shout it out in joy before that great day when they shall say, blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord. That is my promise to you, Israel. Am Israel Chai. I pray now, Lord, that you speak to your people and touch them deeply. In the name of Yeshua, amen. Wow. Thank you. You may be seated. For those watching all over the world, don't do anything. Stand and listen to me, or sit, whatever you're doing. It is very important that you hear what I have to say.
I am not the only person that prophesies, and I know it. But God has given me some places, names, addresses, like He used to do when I did with individuals. Whether you believe it or not doesn't make any difference to me. It happens, and it will continue happening as long as I have breath and strength, which I don't have much of. I've been pouring out for 5 years, 6 years. Not taken much of a break, taken children from China and adopted them, special needs. No, I'm not asking you to feel sorry for me. I don't work on sympathy. What I do want you to know, though, is when you hear me doing this, it didn't just come out like, oh, you just said that. There was hours and hours of prayer and labor in my garden, tears, visions in the night that I had to wake myself up because I was suffocating, because I sensed the presence of a principality that wishes one more time to try and destroy this nation by them dishonoring Israel. And they have. I don't care what protocol says. When a leader of a nation as powerful, that is probably the only nation in that region that is a democratic nation, and God's people, is treated with such disgust, it sends a message to the powers and the princes of the air. Look, the accusation came, we have a friend in the White House in my prophecy in 2010. And God said no, but that's not because of a choice made by this present administration. I'm not speaking against them. I'm telling you the facts. God has laid it on my heart. They do not have a friend in the White House because of what God is going to do. The intervention of God will bring the protection of the United States of America for a season. Okay? I was in a hotel. It was the Hyatt Regency. This will spread out because it will happen. Your prayers can minimize the death. It's not going to be like 9/11, but it's going to be such a wake-up call that'll bring the nation to this is what I saw, to a place of the feeling of defeat, as if it isn't almost close to that. And so voices are rising up to speak against patriots, speak against people that have fought for the freedom of this nation. Voices coming from Hollywood, to my shame, and many other places, minimizing and belittling those who have fought. Do they realize what those veterans go through? Do they realize how many suicides are taking place? We honor our soldiers. We honor our military. We honor those who are fighting for the freedom in this country. And I stand as someone that was born in another nation. And I stand to pray every day for this nation. I'm not lying. Every day. Excuse me for getting passionate. Every single day. Every day I call to Him, Yeshua, Lord, hold back the hand of the enemy. And it drains you. I promise you, it drains you. It drains me. Because I hear the voices of so many saying, death to America. I'm talking about spiritual people. We know that judgments come and go, and there are seasons where God deals with, and He has, with America and evil that is taking place. Why can I not see it? Why is it that God constantly is on me to pray for the prosperity of this nation? Because there is a season and a time where God wants to use this nation again to touch the world with the gospel of Jesus Christ. That's the fact. We don't need death to America coming from the people of this nation. It's already coming from Islam. It's coming from ISIS, Al-Qaeda. It's coming from all these different groups. Death to America. Are you deaf? I mean, how can people realize, how can people think that God would take one of the nations of this that He loves so much and let it go to destruction when a global awakening and outpouring is about to happen? We owe it to this generation. I shared with you what I saw. Now, some would, and I will be interrogated, what else did you see? I cannot tell you publicly what I could see. It would be very dangerous for me. but I saw a lot more, and I will reveal that to the right sources. All I knew, it was a Hyatt Regency hotel. And it was terrifying because I was there, even though I won't be there. It's the spiritual, how the people are feeling as these walls were caving in as a result of a terror attack. But Kim, you said there wouldn't be another 9/11. 9/11 was one of the worst and most tragic attacks in this nation. God said never be on that level ever again, or in this generation, this next generation.
Yep. Do everything they can.
This match is for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championship of Cover 1.
They're going to do everything they can to put a witch in the White House. Yep. All right.
The Republican National Convention was great for Milwaukee's economy. However, Chicago is a totally different story. The DNC has
2014.
caused owners of the stores, businesses, to have to board up. The police are mounted up. They're in the boats, in the water, on the streets, protests. It couldn't be any more clear. Which America do you want? The Republic.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Developing, I have uncovered disturbing new details in the mysterious sinking of a yacht carrying some of the most powerful men on Earth. Go on, get out of there. I'm trying to do a thing here, and you guys are like all, get out of there. Go on, Jelly Bean. Yeah, thank you. All right. Yeah, all of a sudden, a massive water spout violently sunk it at 5 a.m. What are the chances that it would hit only this ship and all of the others in the area would remain unscathed? The high-profile names of missing individuals who likely died include U.S. mega lawyer Chris Morvillo, worked on the terrorist investigation into 9/11 attacks, trial attorney in multiple major U.S. fraud cases, including that of Mike Lynch. Executive Jonathan Bloomer, chairman of the Morgan Stanley International. Billionaire Mike Lynch. He was acquitted of all charges out of nowhere only months ago after a massive 13-year-old legal battle regarding alleged fraud when selling his company to Hewlett Packard for $8.64 billion in 2011. Rumors speculate he was only able to get all the charges dropped because he obtained incriminating evidence that they used to blackmail them. Of course, the ocean tornado hit while they were in their deepest sleep. Reportedly, 15 people survived of the estimated 22 on board. That includes one mother who described almost losing her 1-year-old to the waves. It's almost like the storm knew precisely where the most powerful people were and only killed them and their immediate family, sparing everyone else on board. Surely this is only a coincidence, right? Stay tuned. My investigation is just beginning. So. That just shows you what a water spout looks like. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Wonder if she was friends with Hillary Clinton. Yeah. Joe has tied himself to Kamala and Walz, and they ain't happy. Here we go.
The most passive-aggressive speech, tying her to him through the whole speech. Every single paragraph, he was saying, you can't escape the Biden legacy. He has fastened himself to those two, and they're trying to escape from him. And you can see, I told him to get a screenshot of the two sourpusses by the end of Joe's speech. Did they get a shot of it? Look at these two. They were pissed off.
Yep. Yeah, it was like Joe attached to her, like he was sniffing her hair. Just like, you can't get away from me. That is amazing.
It's the most passive.
Yeah. All right. Here's the one I wanted to share with you.
My gut tells me right now is that we just have to keep being honest.
Okay, so first off, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s running mate, Nicole Shanahan, says the Kennedy campaign is considering dropping out of the race and endorsing Trump. The comments came during a podcast appearance on Tom Bilyeu's Impact Theory. And here we go.
My gut tells me right now is that we just have to keep being honest. I got to just keep being honest. I got to keep focusing on what matters the most outside of party lines. I need to focus on a vision that goes beyond November. And if that means that we stay in, and, there's benefits to staying in. If we get over 5% of the vote, we actually establish ourselves as a party. 71% of Americans want a strong third party with a real shot at winning. There's even public funds available if we get over 5% of the vote. So we could get, I think it's like $13.5 million in public funds to keep the party going. And that's, that's worth something. That means that we can position for a real third party election in 2028 where we don't have to go around and spend tens of millions of dollars on ballot access, which means that we can spend all of that time and money campaigning. So, there's two options that we're looking at. And one is staying in, forming that new party, but we run the risk of a Kamala Harris and Waltz presidency because we draw votes from Trump, or we draw somehow more votes from Trump, or we walk away right now and join forces with Donald Trump and we walk away from that and we explain to our base why we're making this decision. Not easy.
Clearly.
Yeah, not an easy decision.
Yeah. So interesting, though, to say the least. Here we go.
I'm saying, I got ready for Trump. You know what I'm saying? I'm with the red team anyway, all across the board, if you know what I mean. So, I always with Trump. I did when I was a kid. I like when he used to talk crazy, the Rosie O'Donnell, all that. I always liked Trump.
Right.
Can't tell me what he did wrong to black people. You are brainwashed and stupid. I still don't know what is y'all talking about. Don't talk about that old Central Park, because everybody thought they did it.
Right.
They got all, okay, sorry, it happens in life. What else can you name? You know what I'm saying? They really can't. You're dumb. So, Kamala Harris, who? I didn't know this whole 4 years she did nothing good.
Right.
I'm rolling with the red team, man.
Come on, man.
And my took a bullet and stood up and said, fight on.
Right.
Who's doing that? It could have been a whole SWAT team knocking them down from up there. That nigga took the bullet here and looked at it and said, fight on. Man, who's doing that?
Come on, man.
That's ready for war.
Well, I say Trump is probably the most blackest president ever.
Always been.
Why.
Definitely blocking a Barack Obama white ass.
Come on, man. My nigga got baby mama problems.
Come on, champ.
Come on, man. He got shot.
Come on, man. What else?
Come on,
big
man.
felon too now.
Went to jail.
Come on now.
Is that not the blackest
president?
president?
Paid off the you know what I'm saying, stood in the put and paid for the and all that. Yeah.
Free Kodak.
Free numerous.
Come on, man.
Pardon Wayne. Free Yak.
Hey, man, I'm for Trump, man. Trump.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody's seeing. Here's the dome spotted in the Philippines. I mean, it can't really get any clearer than that, right? Seriously, can't get any clearer than that. All right, Jamie Raskin.
Someone should have told Donald Trump that the president's job under Article 2 of the Constitution Someone should have told Donald Trump.
Yeah. Jamie, what happened? Did you forget your 4 a.m. talking points? I think so. Yep.
What is that? That shit really does look like a fucking mask. That does not look like Hillary mask. What is that? That shit really does look like a fucking mask. That does not look like Hillary Clinton. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Is it just me, or does Hillary Clinton look like an entirely different fucking person now? Like, what the fuck? She used to have a really saggy fucking chin, which that could be plastic surgery, but like, that does not look like Hillary Clinton. Even up here, that looks like that's a fucking mask.
Wonder who's been saying that they're masks all along. Couldn't be me. All right. So, are you ready to hear this? I'm here for it. Here we go.
You've probably seen a video, an image on the news, on these internet streets somewhere. This young woman here, right here, you've probably seen something about her floating on these internet streets.
I bet you think she's going to say something bad about her, aren't you? I bet that's what's going through your mind right now. She's about to expose Michaela Montgomery. You know what I'm saying? I bet you're thinking that.
And I didn't want to have to be the one to say it. I didn't want to have to be the one to tell the truth in this manner.
Makes you think she's about to drop a bomb about this girl.
Especially after a few of you have sent it to me. But I feel like I have a special connection with you. I owe it to you as someone that I call my friend, someone that I say I am your sister friend, to come on here and tell you the truth about her.
I mean, what could she have to say that is so important that she just got to come out and tell you the truth about this person?
And I hope that you are able to receive this. Don't come and try to fight me in the comments, because we have to be honest with ourselves and each other in this process before this election. So don't come fighting with me, because I don't want to fight. I don't have.
Yep, she don't want to fight with nobody. She don't want to fight with nobody. She's going to tell some truths about this girl, but she don't want to fight with nobody about it.
The energy to fight. All I have the energy to do is share the truth. So you might not like to hear this. And I know that there's some members of a party might not be ready to hear this, but
girl, you just need to tell us, all right?
She's not alone.
No.
She is not alone.
Oh, she's not alone? What do you mean she's not alone?
There are a lot of people that look just like her that support Donald J. Trump for president.
Oh my God. How dare you? How dare you?
That believe that he is the right person for the job, that do not support Kamala. You're going to have to come to terms with that. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but there's a lot of us, like Michaela Montgomery, that are done, that have exited the Democratic plantation. So, yeah, we're going to keep showing up. We are going to keep showing up on screens in front of you, and our people are going to keep sharing it with other people, so that people that look like us and other people can feel confident enough to show up and say, you know what? I don't support that side on the left. I support the right, and I'm proud of it. And I'm not afraid to show up in front of you and tell you that. And I'm not afraid to show up and share conservative content just like this every day. So follow for more.
Well, I'll be dang nabbed. She just like played everybody, making us think that she's going to come out with some kind of information about this woman that is going to expose her for doing something bad. But no, she said, I agree with her. And you know what? There's a whole bunch of us that agree with her. You couldn't just say that right from the get-go. I agree with her. No. You had to have this big old build-up and everything. Make everybody think that you're going to expose something. And look what you did. You agreed with her. I thought it was good enough to share with you guys, so I made sure I added that into my feed. I also added this one. I'm not a huge Tom McDonald fan. I do like some of the stuff that he's done. I don't agree with all his viewpoints and everything else. However, I do agree with the 10 things that I trust more than another Democrat president. There we go.
Hey, welcome to 10 things I trust more than another Democrat president. 1,
Jeffrey Epstein's prison guards. 2, a 6-year-old behind the wheel of a car. 3, a glass of wine served by Bill Cosby. 4, Lizzo promising to never eat ice cream again. 5, a Boeing mechanic. 6, any headline that was written by a journalist that works for CNN. 7, a literal crackhead. 8, a grown man who claims to be pregnant. 9, the tap water in Flint, Michigan. 10, Tom McDonald, who claims to be dropping a brand new music video on Friday at 9 a.m., which I'm actually very excited about. This has been 10 things that I trust more than another Democrat president. See y'all on Friday at 9 a.m.
Well, we'll see what you got there, Tom, when the time comes. All right, here we go. For all of those that constantly question, what did Trump say about abortions? Here we go.
To put it simply, it's now up to the states. And like Ronald Reagan, I'm a believer in the exceptions, the 3 exceptions, as you know, and rape, incest, life of the mother, the danger for the life of the mother. And we have a situation now where it's in the states' hands, and the states are going to be voting. The last thing people want, the people are going to be voting. The last thing people want is for that to go back into the federal government. It was always fought, and very importantly, and people wanted it, they wanted it back in the states where it belongs legally and for a lot of other reasons.
So you wouldn't support a national ban?
No, I wouldn't support a national ban. No, I would not.
I mean, it's that simple. All these people are saying Donald Trump's abortion bans. It's not. It's the states. It's the states. Yep. So Laura Loomer says, contributor just sent me this video from inside the DNC convention. It's practically empty. So many empty seats. Joe Biden is speaking tonight. Doesn't seem to be much of a crowd. The RNC convention was packed for President Trump. Back disrupted. I want you to see how big the crowd is. All those empty seats and all those empty seats. All these empty seats.
We resist those attacks collectively, and we will stand together.
Yeah. Crazy, huh? Crazy. Wasn't like that at the RNC, nope. All right, Petersborough, UK. 3 more stabbings. Here we go.
Here's one that was missed by mainstream media. Early hours of Sunday morning, 3 guys stabbed, 17-year-olds, 2 17-year-olds and an 18-year-old, stabbed by a 17-year-old in Peterborough. The 17-year-old who did the stabbing has been arrested and is being held on suspected grievous bodily harm. Grievous bodily harm. If you go around stabbing 3 people, surely that's attempted murder. But again, this isn't in mainstream media. The government, in conjunction with mainstream media, are trying to squash this stuff. Ignore it. Brush it under the carpet. Instead, their rhetoric is all about far right and how well they've done banging up people who've put posts on Facebook. Not condoning those posts, but people are angry. There was one lady, 50-something years old, who posted about mosques. Not a great thing to say on Facebook. And I'm not supporting what this woman did for one moment. But she got 15 months in prison. The prisons are overflowing. The government have got this thing now called Operation Early Dawn or something like that, where they're letting out so many prisoners while they should still be serving their sentences. Let's just see what happens when one of these prisoners commits a violent crime when he should have been still in prison. When Starmer took power, I gave until Christmas. That was generous. Surely this Fruit Loop has to go. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments and follow for more news, views, and uncomfortable truths.
Yeah. All right, Benny Johnson.
Trump or Kamala? What do you think? Trump or Kamala Harris?
Oh, God, it's Kamala, definitely.
Yes?
1,000%.
Yes?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your favorite thing Kamala's done in the last 4 years?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Actually, don't use this.
Oh, Kamala Harris. Yeah, Kamala.
Kamala, why?
Well, she's honestly, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not super knowledgeable, so I can't really speak too much on it.
Because Trump sucks ass.
Yeah, pretty much same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Trump or Kamala? What do you think? Yeah. Do you know who Tim Walz is?
Who is he?
He's
I mean, I'm asking the same question, right?
I've been doing my research lately.
Yeah.
So I ain't 100% yet, so I can't answer that yet.
Yeah. Trump or Kamala?
Kamala's the one.
What's your favorite thing about the last 4 years that Kamala Harris been vice president?
She wasn't the president. If she was the president, then I could comment on that. But she wasn't the president.
She was vice president, though.
Vice president.
Of course. That's a no-brainer.
All right.
She's a woman. She's a woman.
How's it been selling? How's it been selling? Good?
I don't know. We just had a bunch of police that told us to burn our shirts.
Had a bunch of police tell us we should burn our shirts. This brother's tired of it. Here we go.
Don't ask me what Donald Trump has done for me as a black man if you cannot tell me what Democrats have done to benefit the black community with 90+% of us voting for them for over 60 years. Get the out of here.
He was polite about it. You know, he didn't even drop the F-bomb. He wanted to, but he didn't. Yep. All right. The untold story of the Trump Tower.
The best story I know about Donald Trump is when he built the Trump Tower in New York, as you know, and probably the same in London. You don't just buy the land, you have to buy up. You have to buy the airspace. Right. It was Tiffany's owned the airspace where he was going to build Trump Tower. So before he went to the meeting with Tiffany's, he said to his architect, I want you to draw up a plan of the most beautiful hotel you've ever seen, and then the most ugly hotel you'd ever can come up with. And he had both of them. And he walked in and he said, look, here's the thing. I got to build this. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a masterpiece. And if you don't sell me the airspace, I'm going to build this. And he said, don't think I won't do it. And they said, we're never going to sell you the airspace. So he went back to his office. By the time he got back to his office, they had called and said, okay, we'll sell you the airspace. He doesnn't show weakness. I've always wanted a president that kind of has a twitchy eye where you're like, that guy just might do it. He just might do it. But you have confidence that he won't do it. Donald Trump has that twitchy eye.
I don't think he's twitchy-eyed, but yeah, I get what he's coming from. All right, here we go. Shipwreck.
Why would you want to build a new civilization full of people who refuse to procreate? I had this thought for a while. I have a theory. I've had a theory for a while about the elite and their overall plan for world domination. That everything you're seeing isn't about you. Why would you want a civilization full of people who don't want to work? Sure, it gives you control over how much money those people get every month if they depend on the government for assistance. That ain't gonna last forever. Where does that assistance comes from? It comes from taxpayers. And if you have an entire civilization full of people who don't want to work and don't want to pay taxes because they don't want to work, that funding is going to clean up real quick because it isn't about you. Why would you want a civilization of people who don't want to have more children to carry on that legacy into further generations? You wouldn't. You'd want a civilization full of strong people, people who are willing to do the work, people who are willing to do the work to take care of their families, people who are willing to have children and then pass those values on. Because the way that it sits right now, people on the other side, people on the left, their values are going to die with them. You could argue, you could say, oh no, it's going to pass. Now I got nieces and I got nephews and we can influence. Yeah, you can. That's a very small number in a very bigger picture. We're not the ones out here taking an experimental jab. We're not the ones out here having recreational abortions, choosing to live a childless life. We're not eating the bugs and we're not eating the lab-grown meat. We're reading labels and we're staying as far away as we can from as much as we can and trying to grow as much as we can on our own. We're going to survive, but they are not. The whole ideology, that whole thing is going to die with these people because they are not having children. They are not having anybody to carry on the torch. This would only last a generation, maybe two. Would you live in a freedom city or a 15-minute city? And is there a difference? Would you feel differently about the elites if you found out their agenda wasn't to take you out, but to take them out? Because you don't want a civilization full of weak people, people who don't want to work, people who physically and mentally cannot handle situations. I had a theory about this for a while. It's not about them winning, okay? It's about who's going to be left standing. And even if they win, they won't be left standing. It'll be our kids and our values and what we believe. Just think about that for a while.
Mm-hmm. Think about that. Yep. Here we go. Here's another one.
We just got warned by a media outlet to not talk negatively about the Democratic Party, in particular about Kamala Harris. We had been in discussion with some individuals over her sobriety issues or what is becoming a Republican talking point about her sobriety or lack thereof.
A lot of people are saying that she's drunk, and she's drunk all the time. Now, we have been warned by an outlet not to discuss this on YouTube, and I'm starting to take this seriously. It looks like there's some hit campaigns out there about talking points on either Trump or Kamala Harris. Now, I do expect this to continue, and I expect it to get worse. So just bear with us. We're going to do some, a little bit of liberation of our ability to use words here, and we're going to kind of talk around the edges about certain points in the future. But I have a video right here for you that I want you to watch very, very closely. This is from Obama, and I want to watch him together. I'm going to watch him on my phone here while you watch him on your screen at home. So let's go ahead and get it started here. Obama says,
flood a country's public square with enough raw sewage. You just have to raise enough questions, spread enough dirt, plant enough conspiracy theorizing that citizens no longer know what to believe.
Are you listening yet?
Once they lose trust in their leaders, in mainstream media, in political institutions, in each other, in the possibility of truth, the game's won. The international order that we have worked for generations to build. Ordinary men and women are too small-minded to govern their own affairs. That order and progress can only come when individuals surrender their rights to an all-powerful sovereign.
Once you lose trust in media, once you lose trust in your political leaders, the game is won. Now, that's exactly what's happening. We see this very clearly in our community and in the entire population. This end game, the end of this game, the final level boss is world war, civil war. Complete destruction of the system that you know, because they know that this empire is crumbling. It can't continue in the way that it has for the last century or even 2 centuries. They need it to completely burn down to the ashes so that upon that foundation, a raw foundation, a new future can be built. Now, we do see a lot of people in politics saying things right now like they're using the words world order. And they're discussing what America has built and what we have become over the last couple of years, over the last couple of decades, in which we were the ability to go into other countries and pirate from them, take over, call for a regime change, send in some money or some weapons or some mercenaries or our own troops.
Yeah, just leaves the whole plan right out there for you, doesn't he? Yep. All right.
If Donald Trump was here right now, what would you tell him?
You're a gangster. I'll give that nigga a hug.
You give him a hug?
Yeah, no cap.
America is a bank, and America needs a boss. And Donald Trump really a boss. So Trump running it how it's supposed to be ran, and people just can't take it. And he putting out facts in front of the people. He ain't lying to the people. People just don't want to accept the truth. And Trump coming with the truth, so I'm with whoever with the truth.
So you think Trump 2024?
Damn right.
Personally, I voted for Biden. He made it sound good. His campaign was awesome. So boom, he caught my eye, but now it's like, okay, I'm not really seeing what he said versus Trump, the wall, this, like everything just started happening. I just don't feel satisfied yet.
Biden was sneaky. He used Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris don't care about us. He just, you know what I'm saying? He sold.
Trump is the greatest president of all time. He stood up against the establishment, the swamp. Trump did everything that I would want my president of the United States to do. He supports everything that the founding fathers set up, and I support that as an American.
Yeah. And this lady.
You know, just so you know, this is about my 15th take because I get so off the fucking rails with this shit. I just found out that Planned Parenthood is putting one of their mobile units outside of their DNC. They were offering free medical abortion pills and vasectomies to people. What happened? First of all, what happened to the sanctity of life? I'm not going to get into that. We were just, we're going to set up a mobile command. Let's just do what we got to do. No big deal. Don't worry about it. But what happened to, listen, this is a private thing. It's between me and my husband. It's between me and my doctor. It's between me and my soul. It's between me and my living room furniture. Are you that lost that you're willing to go through an abortion or a vasectomy to make a political point for somebody who doesn't even know you, who doesn't give a shit about your well-being, somebody who doesn't have your medical history, you might forget to tell them one little tiny fucking thing about your medical history. Bam, now you're taking this methylephalopagone or whatever the fuck it's called, and you're going to hemorrhage to death on the fucking sidewalk. But they don't care. Scoop them up. Move them out of the way. Move them out of the way. We got to just make our political point. I thought this wasn't about fucking politics. I thought it was about personal choice. Leave politics out of it. No. Let me explain something to you. This is the absolute cherry on the fucking cake of Sodom and Gomorrah. And I hope that if you were a Chicago police officer or any kind of law enforcement official in Chicago, go home. Go spend the night with your family, because this shit ain't fucking worth it. Spend the week with people that love you. Shit, I'll come hang out with fucking me. Come hang out with me. We'll have a fucking cream soda. We'll make some s'mores. We'll enjoy a nice little fire and let them fucking destroy themselves. It is disgusting. And Planned Parenthood, the fact that you can do this, that you can take this moment in a woman and a man's life and make it into something so political is fucking disgusting. It is fucking disgusting. End the fucking story.
Yep. End it. End it.
And finally, Julian, who do you consider to be your number one enemy?
Well, our number one enemy is ignorance. And I believe that is the number one enemy of everyone, is not understanding what is actually going on in the world. It's only when you start to understand that you can make effective decisions and effective plans. Now, the question is, who is promoting ignorance? Well, those organizations that try to keep things secret, and those organizations which distort true information to make it false or misrepresentative. In this latter category, it is bad media. It really is my opinion that the media in general are so bad. We would have to question whether the world wouldn't be better off without them altogether. There's some very, very fine journalists, and we work with many of them and some fine media organizations, but the vast majority are awful and are so distortive to how the world actually is, that the result is we see wars and we see corrupt governments continue on. One of the hopeful things that I've discovered is that nearly every war that has started in the past 50 years has been a result of media lies. And the media could have stopped it if they had searched deep enough. If they hadn't reprinted government propaganda, they could have stopped it. But what does that mean? Well, that means basically populations don't like wars. And populations have to be fooled into wars. Populations don't willingly and with open eyes go into a war. So if we have a good media environment, then we'll also have a peaceful environment.
All right. Moving on. Even the Daily Show is roasting the DNC convention.
This is a chance for them to lay out their specific vision each night, and let's hear what you got.
New this morning, we are learning how each night of the convention will highlight her vision for the country. Tomorrow's opening night's theme, For the People. Tuesday will outline Democrats' bold vision for America's future. Wednesday, they're calling a fight for our freedoms. And Thursday, a message for our future.
A bold policy move by the Democrats. Tuesday is for the future, and Thursday is also for the future. How do you have themes that are so vague and then still run of ideas by Thursday? This is like when the Fast and the Furious movies ran out of different ways to say that the movies would be fast and furious. Too fast, too furious. Faster and more furiouser. The fastestest and furiousest. We get it. The car goes vroom, all right? But it's not all going to be as vague as their daily themes. The Democrats also released a very detailed party platform. And you can tell how much time and energy they put into it because they forgot to replace Joe Biden's name with Kamala's. Yeah. And that's not just lazy, guys. It's risky. Joe Biden's going to read that and be like, gas up the Corvette. I'm going back in. But look, obviously there's going to be some policy talk during the DNC, but is there going to be anything that's more fun than that?
We'll have some celebs on hand at the Democratic National Convention. It kicks off today, and it's got a few notable celebrities that are actually set to host this week's event. So starting off, we have Scandal stars Kerry Washington along with Tony Goldwyn. They're among the hosts for the 4-day convention, as well as comic Mindy Kaling and The View co-host Anna Navarro.
Rumors are swirling, big time. Everybody's talking about it, that two of the biggest names in music, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, might make appearances.
Holy shit, did you hear that? A completely unsubstantiated rumor about Taylor Swift and Beyonce. But in the meantime, give it up for Anna Navarro and Tony Goldwyn. Why are our news reporters talking out of their ass like that? This feels like hosting a birthday when you're 13 and being like, hey, my cousin says he knows Tony Hawk, so I don't know, he might show up.
All right, moving along. We already covered up that one.
Committed to strengthening legal immigration. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration. Kamala and I are committed to strengthening legal immigration.
Strengthening illegal immigration, huh, Joe? Yeah, you'll be okay.
Kamala being like, I'm not going to release my policies until I'm elected. That's like me being like, no, you're going to give me the job and I'm going to show you my resume after. This is literally insane. You have to have such a low IQ voter base to even get away with one of the things she's done.
Yep. Just keeps coming. We already got that one. We already... Hillary Clinton, here we go.
But no matter what the polls say, we can't let up. We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy.
It's like she has two sets of eyebrows. You see it? That's where the mask ends. I'm telling you.
Rabbit holes. No matter what
listen
the
what she
polls
says.
say, we can't let up. We can't get driven down crazy conspiracy rabbit holes.
We can't? We can't get driven down there? Oh, we got to walk. Okay, I get it, Hillary. I get it. We got to walk. We got to walk into them rabbit holes. Well, let me tell you something, Hillary. I jumped head first into those rabbit holes. Damn right. And frankly, I was disgusted with a lot of what I saw, but my eyes needed to be opened. And let me tell you, I continue to jump into those rabbit holes because there's more truth in those rabbit holes than anything that has ever poured out of your witch mouth. Yeah. Hey, Script, what's going on, brother? Good to see you in there. All right. This is hilarious. Sound up. Here we go.
In an attempt to appear normal, the Knob Gobbler has decided to remove her $50,000 necklace and stop at this strange store called Sheetz's to purchase and pretend to consume poor people food known as a Lebanon bar logna samish. After carefully inspecting the odd burgundy-colored meat often consumed by the local peasants, this knob-gobbling idiot decides to opt for a bag of orange-colored tortillas. How she can afford this luxury in the Bidenomics economy is beyond me. The Knob Gobbler doesn't even have a food stamps card to pay for these expensive chips. In reality, Kamala has no intention of consuming those strange orange triangles. What she's really after are a few cans of Four Loko, hoping to smuggle them onto her fancy bus. A few cans of Four Loko might help the Knob Gobbler deal with the thousands of protesters awaiting her in Chicago.
The Knob Gobbler. That is never, ever going to go away. You know that, right? That is never going to go away. I can see people on the side of the road chanting Knob Gobbler as she's driving by. Absolutely. Yep. All right. Trump was mentioned 147 times on day one of the DNC. At the RNC, Biden was mentioned twice in all 4 days. Here we go.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Trump. Trump.
Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is?
These people are sick.
You gotta love it. All right. Here we go. DNC's inclusion policy. Oh, they tell you all of it. Here we go.
Basically, we're Latinos, Hispanics, we're blacks, we're the LGBT community, we're women, we're poor.
Everyone's welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
Except
unless you own a corporation or if you're a hunter, a gun owner, white males.
Really, you want to lose all the white males?
They're a bunch of gun-toting hillbilly tea partiers. That's all I have to say. Bang, 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 bang.
Right. Bunch of jerk-offs, right?
Definitely.
How open are you?
Well, open enough to include everybody.
Oh, really? Who wouldn't you include?
We wouldn't include those beer-toting fakers down in Florida. The Tampa convention guys.
You know the types.
Pot-bellied, church-going, small-minded,
anti-science.
Bunch of 70 Sam hillbilly.
Whack job, evangelical, gun nuts.
They don't want to hear a message of difference and of hope.
What can you and I teach these whack jobs about inclusion? You go first.
You can't teach them anything.
Don't have a clue about science. Very questionable on any kind of thought that involves more than 2 or 3 sentences.
We are the Big Tent Party, and we will let most anybody in unless, of course, they're carrying guns.
Right. Who needs that 146 million people in your party?
The Democratic Party, we don't stereotype, we don't generalize.
The teabaggers generalize because they're very narrow-minded people.
Right.
This has been historically the party of tolerance.
The teabaggers are the least tolerant group I have ever seen.
Right.
And they're destroying us.
Can you say that more dismissively?
Well, yeah, I guess that's more dismissively. Ugh. I'm sorry, I got to keep this into 2 or 3 sentences because, we can't come up with anything more than that. Yeah. All right, the DNC is lit.
Stop killing women in Gaza! 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 Gaza is a feminist!
I think I've seen that lady in Portland before. That one right there.
Gaza is a feminist!
Her. I think I've seen her in Portland. I think she got pepper sprayed in Portland, if I'm not mistaken, on TV. Yeah. All right. Hillary Clinton says Kamala cares about kids and families. There are literally abortion and vasectomy buses outside the DNC.
Kamala cares about kids and families, cares about America.
This brings me back to that point where I, made a statement in regards to agreeing with Miss Michaela Montgomery. Well, I think that maybe we should ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala cares about families. Yeah. Yep, I do. All right. Here we go. Top New York City lawyer, Christopher Morvillo, has been missing since the Bayesian, I think I said that right. I'm not sure. Yacht sank off the coast of Italy on Monday morning. Here we go.
Federal officials have begun a major investigation into whether someone or many people benefited financially from the evil done to the country last Tuesday. Not long before the attacks occurred, there were some financial transactions in the stock market that may indicate knowledge of the attack before it began. ABC's Antonio Mora is here. Whether they ever get to, if they ever get to the bottom of it, it will be astonishing.
Astonishing, no question, Peter. What many Wall Street analysts believe is that the terrorists made bets that a number of stocks would see their prices fall. They did so by buying what are called puts. If you bet right, the rewards can be huge. The risks are also huge, unless, of course, you know something bad is going to happen to the company you're betting against.
This could very well be insider trading at the worst, most horrific, most evil use you've ever seen in your entire life.
One example, United Airlines. The Thursday before the attack, more than 2,000 contracts betting that the stock would go down were purchased, 90 times more in one day than in 3 weeks. When the markets reopened, United's stock dropped. The price of the contracts soared, and someone may have made a lot of money fast.
$180,000 turns into $2.4 million when that plane hits the World Trade Center.
It's almost the same story with American Airlines.
That's a five-fold increase in the value of what was a $337,000 trade on Monday.
All of a sudden becomes what?
$1.8 million.
And there's much more, including an extraordinarily high number of bets against Morgan Stanley and Marsh & McLennan, two of the World Trade Center's biggest tenants.
Could this be a coincidence? This would be one of the most extraordinary coincidences in the history of mankind if it was a coincidence.
It is absolutely unprecedented to see cases of insider trading covering the entire world, from Japan to the United States and North America to Europe.
ABC News has now learned that the Chicago Board of Options Exchange launched their investigation into the unusual trading last week. That may have given them enough time to stop anyone from profiting from death here in the U.S. It may also give investigators, Peter, a...
Yeah. Just something else.
Federal officials have begun to...
Just something else. Here we go. Here's the link for that. There you go. All right. That's me. Okay. This is how Kamala Harris's stepdaughter, she has no kids of her own, dressed tonight for his father's wife's big night. This family is competing with Biden for the title of trashiest family to occupy the White House. That's a dude. Look at that Adam's apple sticking right out right there. That's a dude. Wow, she's doing it to her own family. Yeah. Yeah. So Matt Wallace says, I thought people were just posting early pictures, but here you can see people speaking at the DNC arena is almost empty. We are witnessing the final months of the Democrat Party. Soon it won't exist anymore. And actually, I have to agree with him. We are watching the total dismantling of the Democratic Party. But understand this, you know, the same way that Kim Clement said that in his prophecy that, you know, I have shaken the Democrats. The next part of his prophecy needs to really be put out there as well, as he says, and I will shake the Republicans even more. So what we're seeing happen to the Democratic Party, okay, is one thing, but we have to think about what is next. What is next after the destruction of the Democrat Party? Will we see the destruction of the Republican Party as well? And it going back to just we the people, no parties, just different viewpoints and different plans to build America into a better country. I have a feeling that that's the direction that this is going to go. Conservative Ant says, good morning. And you got the DNC people here. You got the pro-Palestine people here. And you got the Trump people back here sitting down, just eating their popcorn. Watching the destruction of it all. Yep. All right. Jack Pasogovo says, breaking Biden just slipped up and admitted that he dropped out of the race so Democrats could focus on House and Senate seats. He knows Kamala isn't their real goal. Ooh.
No, I haven't spoken to Nancy at all. I mean, look, no one influenced my decision. No one knew it was coming. What I decided to do was I didn't want to to the extent that the party thought they'd lose Senate seats or House seats, that would have been the topic you would have had to cover the entire remainder of the campaign. And it wasn't worth it.
I think the first line there is critical. I haven't spoken to Nancy at all. She was in the front row last night. They haven't talked?
Well, I can't speak to any of the decisions that they made.
Yeah, they haven't talked. Yeah, well, because Nancy knows he ain't nothing. All right.
Women are not without electoral. Border encounters have dropped over 50%. In fact, there are fewer border crossings today than when Donald Trump left office. Donald Trump said, and I quote, "There are very fine people on both sides." My God. That's what he said. That is what he said and what he meant. Oh, from his own chief of staff, the 4-star General John Kelly, that Trump, when in Europe, would not go to the grave sites in France. The brave service members who gave their lives to this country. He called them suckers and losers. Who in the hell does he think he is? Who does he think he is? They're the ones we're going to bring back. That's not hyperbole. It's because Medicare no longer has to pay those exorbitant prices to the big pharma. It's Republicans, Democrats. We saved democracy in 2020, and now we must save it again in 2024. You know, we have 1,000 billionaires in America. He's promising a bloodbath if he loses, in his words.
And half of those billionaires got to be billionaires because you guys stole Americans' money. Yep. Here's a little more Jamie Raskins.
Hey, J.D. Vance, do you understand why there was a sudden job opening for running mate on the GOP ticket? They tried to kill your predecessor. They tried to say J.D. Vance.
Yeah. Yeah. Jamie Raskins is going to be in big doggy doo-doo by the time this is all over.
What you said this morning on Morning Joe, okay? I'm going to just prepare you for this. Saying that well, let me take a look at what he said about you.
J.D. Vance calls pregnancy resulting from rape inconvenient. Like, inconvenience is traffic. I mean, make him go through this.
So what he's saying is that you were somehow suggesting, he said, what the hell is this? Why is Andy Bashir, he tweeted this out, wishing that a member of my family would get raped? What a disgusting person. So how do you respond to that? I mean,
well,
is that what you were talking about?
Of course not. It's ridiculous, but it's also deflection. I mean, J.D. Vance knows that he and Donald Trump are so wrong on this issue, and so he's trying to make himself the victim. Listen, Hadley Duvall was a victim. The women that were on the stage last night, the couple that had to go through a non-viable pregnancy are victims. You know, as a man, J.D. Vance will never have to face any of this personally, but it's sad that he lacks the empathy to be able to put himself in a different position and to understand why having exceptions, having reproductive freedom is so important in the first place. Obviously, I'd never wish harm on anyone. And it just, again, deflection, trying to make himself and Donald Trump the victims.
Bashir, you're a lying sack of shit. I don't care if you're a governor or not. You're a governor who fucking lies. Here we go.
Hey, look, I'm voting for that nigga Trump. Oh, God, you're voting for that nigga Trump? Hey, wait a minute. Y'all hear that shit about them Venezuelans? Exactly. Bro, they took over an apartment complex, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
People are seeing it. They're seeing all of it. All right. Gateway Pundit says the sex addict who wrote about her inappropriate showers with her daddy is now speaking at the DNC. They have no shame. Yeah. That's Ashley Biden for you right there. Yeah. All right. BBC interviewer just gave up.
Because you have no time to actually watch my content at length and understand what I'm saying. You have small pieces of paper, small clips on a piece of paper, and you're trying to pretend I've said evil things. And then you're going to say I'm the most dangerous man in the world, which is truly laughable. Do you believe I'm the most dangerous man in the world, Lucy?
I'm not answering your question.
But then we need to change the dynamic of this interview because, and I'll make this clear, I allowed you into my home. I'm doing you a favor, giving you the first interview I'm giving to the public. You don't come here with a position of authority. You're not equals. I don't respect you. I don't know you. We are equals. We are people, and I see you as my equal. And if you ask me questions, I can ask you questions back. For you to come here and sit down and pretend you're Aristotle and that you don't have to answer my questions is disingenuous because this is a conversation. I don't owe you any degree of authority over me.
I think we're done. Yeah. Yep. They didn't like that. Yep. All right. Imagine having to leave a restaurant so paid actors could meet Kamala Harris in a real restaurant. Diners tear into Kamala Harris' campaign for kicking them out of the Pittsburgh restaurant to bus in their own crowd for a campaign stunt. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Trump. This message is for President Donald Trump and the Republicans. If you just would listen to a regular old black guy, let me give y'all some game. Donald Trump forced Kamala Harris to speak on her policies. This going back and forth, joking her, trying to play her, clown her, questioning her race, that shit is not going to work. It can work with Joe Biden. I'm going to tell you why. Because he's an old, decrepit man, and you could joke him and talk shit. But see, Kamala Harris, she's a beautiful, brown-skinned woman. And you're going to look like a bully if you fuck with her in that way. Because she can always say, he wants to eliminate abortion and he's racist. So you don't want to go into a mud-slinging contest with a female. My granddaddy told me, don't never argue with no female because you can't win. People are going to show sympathy for her. Donald Trump, Republicans, please be more political in your approach to beating this woman. You're not going to beat this woman with that jokey joke shit that tear her down. Oh, she ain't black. That shit is not going to work. I don't know why somebody ain't in Donald Trump's ear. I don't know why somebody is not explaining to this man that this woman don't got nothing to say when it comes to her policies. All this woman can say is female body rights, and Donald Trump is racist. Now, if you keep diverting it to that back and forth mudslinging shit, she gonna whoop your ass with that, Donald Trump. So Republicans, I'm telling you, calm Trump down, make her have to speak on her policies. Trump, it's like you're going against the fucking beauty queen, homecoming queen cheerleader. You can't shame her. You got to make that bitch use her mind.
I don't know. I think what Donald Trump's doing is pretty spot on. All right. Kim Clement.
Vengeance is mine, says the Lord, and the prayers of the righteous shall be heard, even as Daniel was heard, and the same angel that was fighting over the prince over Persia, over the same angel that was fighting the prince of Persia and had to return to the region, is now sent with the words of Daniel to fight and to bring down the spirit that has decided to take the blood of children. It is finished, says the Lord. I shall rise up and avenge my people.
You know, it is. It's been a war on babies. It's been a war on children. Yep. Laura Loomer says, watch at the Women's Caucus at the DNC convention. The Democrats forgot the lyrics to the national anthem. I'm at a loss for words. Here we go.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad strides
Oh boy. Yeah. Remember that video I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago about that girl singing the national anthem, and she's supposed to be some big pop star and everything else, and oh my God, she was the absolute worst ever. Yeah. Yeah, that's what that reminds me of. Yeah.
So I just watched about 5 minutes of the DNC, and I just find it funny how all the Kamala Glazers were talking about fixing problems that they already caused during the Biden administration. It's just hilarious talking about getting more jobs and lowering the cost of groceries. The cost of groceries are high because of the administration that's current. And I swear I heard like half as much of the crowd booing as they were cheering, which is just also hilarious. But even more hilarious is just the massive amount of protests that are going around the entire convention center too. It's just funny because while they're pretending inside, the reality is happening literally around them with all the chaos and destruction that's going on. And there's a very huge difference between how the DNC is operating right now versus the RNC like a month ago.
Everybody sees it. Yeah. So we went from nasty hag with terrible teeth and a mole to what we are shown as a 76-year-old last night. Now think about her new nickname for Trump, Beautiful Hillary. What has he been trying to tell us? So here's the old hag, and you see all the marks. And I'm sorry, makeup can't cover that stuff up. Yeah. Yeah. To smooth skin and extra eyelashes. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, Robbie Starbuck said, yesterday I hastily said that we're 3 for 3 on changing corporate behavior. I was wrong. We're actually 5 for 3. When we exposed Harley, both Indian Motorcycle and Polaris brand removed DEI before Harley Davidson issued their reversal. I expect similar results going forward. And BNN Bloomberg, Polaris, which produces the Harley competitor Indian Motorcycle, removed references to DEI from its web pages this month as the phrase DEI has evolved from a general term into something increasingly politicized with varying interpretations, the company said in a statement. Yep. All right, Trump should pull out of the debate. ABC should be sued into oblivion. How can they actually moderate a debate? Do they seem fair and impartial to you? Here we go.
Marching the streets with the former President Donald Trump is expected to go campaign in Howell, Michigan tomorrow. Many people are aware that a month ago in Howell, KKK protesters marched in the streets with the white robes on and suggested that they support Donald Trump. I'm curious if you make anything about that connection and him going in particular to Howell tomorrow.
Well, you know, anyone who's doing a little bit of research might have said that's really a bad idea. Look at the optics. You're showing up where the KKK was just at the same time you're in Michigan. I mean, this is I think a troubling strategy that we see from the other side to divide us and to scare us and to stoke fear and anger. And contrast to what we're going to see here all week, this is a gathering of joyful, happy warriors. We are rolling up our sleeves. We're doing the work. We take no one and no vote for granted. But by the same token, we're not going to feed into the hatred and
Yeah, so Governor Whitmer, another piece of shit liar. Oops, did I say that out loud? I'm sorry. Yeah, she's definitely a see you next Tuesday. Yep. All right, Donald Trumpo.
The Democrats don't want Biden anywhere near this convention. He's toxic. And they don't want him standing on stage with Kamala. That's not going to help her at all. And Biden doesn't even want to be here. He's humiliated. And they're isolating him like he has the Rona. Trump was shot in the head 48 hours before the RNC, and he showed up every day with a bandage on his ear. Biden was stabbed in the back, forced to speak on Monday night as far away from Kamala as possible, and now he's evacuating quicker than Afghanistan.
Whoop. Yeah. I'm not even going to give him time of day. Holy shit, Secret Service is completely compromised. They really wanted Trump dead. Breaking. Local cop, not Secret Service, shot Trump rally shooter first. They lied. Yeah, they do that, though. All right, here's a little bit more on Kim.
For what has happened with the Kennedys, says the Spirit of God, was spoken of. Now I will join hands between Democrats and Republicans and do an unusual thing, says the Spirit of God. Come on.
Okay, I want to back this up. Now, remember what I played just a little bit ago about Kennedy's running mate was on there, and she said that that they have two options. Either they can try to get 5% of the vote so that they can establish a new party, or they could throw their support 100% behind Donald Trump. Okay, so let's watch this from the beginning. Listen closely.
For what has happened with the Kennedys, says the Spirit of God, was spoken of. Now I will join hands between Democrats and Republicans and do an unusual thing, says the Spirit of God. Come on!
Now, this is in 2009, guys. This is in 2009.
They will say, well, they tried to increase, now they are decreasing. And God says it shall be a sign. But even now that the Kennedys have come to this place, I spoke about it, that there would be a massive outbreaking and outpouring in the system, in this nation, the political system. The three enemies that shall rise up and already on their way. I will take them, I will send ambushments against them, they will confound themselves, and this nation shall rise above the occasion and come to oneness with God, says the Lord. Come on!
Now, I want you guys to think about this. Now, we've all got our own opinions in regards to J.D. Vance because of his connection to Ambrosia Company. Okay, which we know is just another form of adrenochrome, right? What would happen if it turned out to be a Trump-Kennedy ticket instead? Now, Democrats have known Kennedy as being Democratic all these years. He just couldn't, they just didn't want to give him the opportunity for a primary and everything else, right? There was no primary for the Democrats, okay, because there was supposedly an incumbent president, okay? But as soon as they knew that Joe was bowing out and that Kamala was stepping up, there should have been a primary done to select the Democratic, or the Democrat nominee. So basically, they said to RFK that, listen, because you're who you are, we're not going to support you because we have an incumbent. And imagine if he did team up with Trump. Just saying. We got to look at everything. We got to look at it all. All right. Where is Jeremy Brown right now, and why is the X count free Jeremy Brown suspended?
Asked him in December of 2020, federal agents Lindsay and Ura approached Mr. Jeremy Brown at his home and asked him if he would be a paid informant for the government. They asked him to infiltrate some groups they were looking at involving concerns they had about an event in January. Mr. Brown recorded this conversation, and instead of working for the government on January 6th, he went on as many media outlets that would have him starting in March of 2021 and played the recording. He named the agents and exposed what they wanted him to do.
It's no big deal.
decide to come out? I've worked with JTTF before, so I'm familiar. You might in the future.
So see, there you have it. Well, you might in the future.
So we don't care which way you lean. Right. We just want to make sure that you're not targeting anybody and nobody's going to get hurt over the outcome in January. We'd love to hear from you. And again, I can't make any promises, but like if you provide information and invent something big, the government pays for that. Because we think that we can help you, we can help us, and we can definitely on this side of things, less aggravation. You're one of 19 people that are going to knock on the door, they're going to say they're not home, or they are home, and they're like,
One of 19 people. These two guys, not the 58 other agents that he's about to explain that there's 60 of them in Tampa. But I'm just one of 19.
As a result of his righteous actions, the government had him arrested after an illegal search of his home on September of 2021. And after nearly 2.5 years in federal prison, Jeremy has filed for an appeal. Jeremy's legal team is presenting forensic evidence that show the unregistered explosive grenades and the national defense documents that Jeremy was said to have illegally been in possession of were planted in his home by government agents during an illegal search. The first thing the agents did when they entered Mr. Brown's home for their search was turn off all 14 recording devices, and none of these agents had any functioning body cameras. The only person recording was Jeremy's girlfriend, who recorded the arrest by Agent Lindsay and Ura, who instructed her to stop recording, which she did. They were very deliberate in making sure nothing was recorded during their search. During this search, they allegedly found 2 explosive grenades and a CD containing national defense documents, items that Mr. Brown denied knowing anything about. The grenades were tested for DNA, and the FBI's own experts found 2 male specimen DNAs on the grenades, none of which were from Jeremy Brown. They found a dog hair underneath one of the grenades. Mr. Brown has 2 dogs, so the FBI got a search warrant, took over 50 samples from his dogs, and determined that the hair on the grenade was not from his dogs. They found a carpet fiber on the tape around one of the grenades, so they get another search warrant, cut out pieces of Jeremy's carpet, and compare the fibers to the one that was found with the grenade. And they determine it was not a match. Criminal counts 6, 7, 8, and 9 were allegedly found on a compact disc that they claim Mr. Brown carried with him through the deserts of Kuwait and Afghanistan for 17 years. And yet there isn't a scratch or a hint of discoloration on it. In August of 2022, there was a trace done on that CD to see when it was uploaded. And the evidence shows that Mr. Brown did not have the CD or the 2 grenades in his possession. They were planted by crooked agents working for a criminal state that has locked up and tortured scores of innocent men and women for a planned false flag event that they orchestrated with so many federal assets that they lost count. This criminal state is now threatening to go after everyone who was in Washington, D.C. on January 6th, no matter if they were in the Capitol or on Capitol grounds. While we are still somewhat free, let us support Jeremy Brown in his legal efforts so that he can free himself and continue to fight for American freedom. Greg Reese reporting.
Yeah. The DNC farce. Here we go.
The running theme of the Democrat National Convention appears to be "We hate Trump, and we need you to hate Trump too." Groundbreaking. Day one was full of cheap jabs, bullshit propaganda, long debunked quotes, all in an effort to cover it up for the fact that you know that the candidate you put up is weak. Senator Warnock of Georgia knocked Trump for holding up the Bible, claiming the Bible did not need his endorsement. Firstly, that was not the purpose of him holding up the Bible. And 2, I find it hard to reconcile with a man who claims he is a believer, yet stands on the side of abortion, a believer who endorses homosexuality, at least in public, and a believer who's more enamored with money than actually helping the people. So instead of she's the best candidate, tell me why. I have yet to get a clear, concise answer on why this woman is a formidable candidate. They pushed Joe Biden out there to give his farewell address. and in his speech slammed Trump and attempted to bring up that good people on both sides bullshit again. And can we talk about the harassment of conservative creators at the Democrat National Convention? This is supposed to be the party of love and acceptance. I'm trying to find a love and acceptance in this.
Hey, Charlie Kirk, what's up? Let's do a selfie. You're a giant piece of shit. Have a great day. Hey, why do you hate what profane times called profane language? Isn't this the party of joy? Yeah, party of joy. So why are you here with so much hate? I won't yell at you, brother. Who's the one hating? The one that's swearing at me or the one that's like... Profane times call for profane language, Charlie.
Yeah. Yep. All right, guys. That's the end of the feed for today. Yep. I'll go through stuff tonight and tomorrow for another day. For remember our Creator, He loves you. His Son, Jesus Christ, He loves you. I love you. And we'll see you guys again tomorrow. Please have an awesome, safe day. And we'll talk soon. Peace.